Say good afternoon, almost evening, everybody. This is a select board meeting for the town of Marshfield this Monday, the 27th of July. The time right now is 5:31. I'd like to make a motion to open this meeting. Do I have a second? Second. Seeing that there's been a second, all those in favor say aye. Roll call vote, sorry.
Eric Kelly, aye.
Rick Smith, aye.
Chris Rowland, aye.
All right, meeting is commenced. This meeting is being recorded by Marshfield Community Media. Very well. And if everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to start off with comments from the board. The first thing I'd like to do is welcome Mr. Rowland. Thank you, Mr. Rowland, for running, and glad that we finally have a third person in the third spot here. We have a full select board, which is a really wonderful thing. I want to thank the town's clerk's office for doing a great job during the election this last Saturday. Speak of the clerk.
Good timing.
So again, thank you to the clerk's office for doing a good job. I know that there's been a lot of voting recently, which is great. Good turnouts, and thank you again to the clerk's office. I also want to thank each of the candidates that did run, because democracy thrives when there are more than one candidate, when many candidates step forward with their ideas and thoughts. And, you know, one of the things that strikes me is that the value of a campaign is not for political opponents, if you will, candidates to joust and see how hard they can hit. But rather the value of it is how much we can get a very close focus on what the issues are and what the ideas are that can help improve our town. So I know that there's a lot of folks out there with a lot of really wonderful ideas. And I want everybody listening to know and understand that regardless of who you vote for or what you think, your ideas matter. They matter and they're wanted. Because even though in this great democracy of ours, we will not always agree with one another. In fact, for 250 years, we have spent time disagreeing with one another. And our town, though, is still standing strong since 1640. And we have agreed and we've disagreed, but one thing that we've always agreed on is to agree that sometimes we will disagree and that we will move on with the people's business. Tonight, we're turning a corner. It's time to get things done. It's time to attend to the people's business. We finally have a full select board. This is the greatest town on the South Shore. And yesterday is yesterday, and tomorrow, though, tomorrow's today. We're going to get a lot done. We're going to move fast. And I hope everybody puts their seatbelts on because it's time to go. So thank you, and turn it over to Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say welcome to Chris Rowland, and congratulations. And hopefully, like you said, we'll move forward. Like you said, we probably won't agree on things. We probably will disagree, but the whole thing is that we have a spirited conversation on the subject matters, and we go from there. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Rowland.
It's always fun to go third because everybody said pretty much some of the things you were going to say. But all kidding aside, I just really want to take 2 seconds, maybe a little longer than that, to thank everybody. Thank all my supporters. Many of you are in this room that worked very hard for me, worked hard to help me be in the seat so I could help the people and do the job that I need to do for Marshfield. And I want to thank everyone who came out to vote, the people that voted for me and the people that didn't vote for me, because those people voted. I really encourage, I say this all the time, I encourage people, more people to get involved in town, whether you just come to town meeting, which is huge, or vote, or get involved as a volunteer. It makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference. And I'm always very disappointed to see the numbers of people that really get involved in person, really take the time to go out and serve versus just sit behind a keyboard and complain. Campaigns are about differences, and governing is about coming together. So, there's a lot of immediate challenges in our town. We all know that. I'm here to help these two gentlemen try to overcome some of those challenges and do what's right for Marshfield. It's the only reason I ran. And there's a lot to be proud of in Marshfield. I mean, you guys can walk around our town. There's a lot of great things in our town. And I'm excited to get to work with the board members, with our town staff, with you as citizens. I am always available. My phone number's out there. I'm available. I welcome calls. I welcome emails. Whether you agree with me or not, I'm going to be respectful, and I'm going to work with you and try to make things happen. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And it's time to get to work and govern a little bit. So let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. Okay, Town Administrator report. Mr. Moore.
Nothing to report this evening, and there's plenty to do tonight, so I'll defer. I will not get into an argument about which is the best town on the South Shore. So,
Wise move.
Is Braintree really on the side? No, I'm kidding.
stop.
Just kidding.
Okay, next up, we'll move to public comment. We have 3 people up for public comment. Public comment period's not to exceed 15 minutes, as we only have 3 people. Typically, the time period allowed is 2 minutes. Chair will recognize each of the 3 speakers for a maximum of 3 minutes. The first up is Mr. David Courier.
David Carrier, 34 Outlook Road. This board is, been modified again, and what I want to make sure is that, or speak to specifically, is the activities associated with the indirect charges to the Department of Public Works, and as well as some of the authorizations of funds that require a specific vote of town meeting, that they in fact will be specifically delineated so that when people are at town meeting or making the vote, we make it, and we don't have to do a follow-up later on at a special town meeting in order to be able to cover costs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Courier. Next up, we have Steve Atwater. If I mispronounce your last name, please correct me.
You're right on.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Steve Atwater, 94 Moraine Street. I have several points to get into my 5 minutes, and the first one deals with the selection of a town administrator. And I have some comments on Peter Caruso's presentation to this board when they were questioning him. And he said at that meeting, I work for the largest firm in Boston, and then went to my client, Puma, as their chief financial officer. That was after I had written down their inventory by 35 million. And they said they couldn't beat me, so they asked me to join them. I worked there we did a turnaround, and we did a management buyout. Puma SA is the ownership of Puma North American Incorporated. It is a $4 billion subsidiary. It belongs to the parent company. Puma SA is a public company. It has a market cap of $4 million. It has, in 2024, $10 billion in revenue. I found his comments of $100 million in revenue and $130 million in expenses lacked total detail. He also assumed that they did a turnaround, the management buyout, and I can't imagine a company which is the 3rd largest sportswear manufacturer in the United States, in the world, letting a management buyout go through because they've got to protect their brand name. Then, after the management,
1 minute left, Mr. Atwater.
they sold the company. Again, I can't understand a parent company, whether it's in Germany or the US, allowing that just to happen, and there is a total lack of details. And it's probably too late to bring him back for those kind of questions. And it gets into a lot of detail, and that's revenue, cost of goods sold, turnover of retail inventory, and is 35 million a small number or a large number for a company doing 100 million in revenue at that time he was there? My second comment,
Thank you, Mr. Atwater. We're at time.
am I done?
Yes, sir. Yeah, sorry. It was only 3 minutes per speaker. But thank you very much. Appreciate your comments, sir. Next up for public comment is Peg Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Peg Davis, 87 New Street in Marshfield, of course. I just want to thank everyone who came out to run, everyone that came out to vote, and especially the support that we have for moving things forward. So I'm really looking forward to getting things done. We've had some overwhelmingly popular votes at town meeting, and I'm really looking forward to having the select board support the voters from town meeting and move forward with some of the initiatives. And very excited to hopefully be finding a town administrator for the town. We have at least one very good candidate, and I think that we're going to have a good future in this case. So thank you all for doing what you do for the town, and it means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Okay, we have 20 items on the agenda tonight. So let's begin. And first, this Chair's opinion, the first and most important on this entire agenda is a discussion and vote on the appointment of a town administrator, inclusive of finalist candidates Edward Langell and Peter Caruso. So, I believe it was last month, several weeks ago, Mr. Kelly and I had interviewed several candidates for the position of town administrator. We ended up coming to a conclusion at the last time that we had a public discussion about this, about two candidates in particular. One of them was Mr. Edward Langell, Ted Langell, who is currently the town manager. No.
Chief of Staff.
Chief of Staff, sorry, in the town of Weymouth, or city of Weymouth. And then the other one was Peter Caruso, who has a corporate background, but currently serves as town administrator of Melville. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. So we discussed these two candidates. There was a lot of discussion between Mr. Kelly and I. I'll open it up because I'd love to hear from each of my fellow board members as far as where they stand on these candidates, so that way we can move forward to a vote. My opinion is a select board member has not changed. I'm still in full support of Mr. Langell. I believe that based upon his impressive resume, his impressive experience, the respect that he commands throughout the South Shore, the great work that he's done in the city of Weymouth, and a very, very good interview where he was able, I think, to address many of the questions that I had and others in full in regard to what kind of leader he would be to move forward the agenda and the policy initiatives of this board. So I still stand in full support of Mr. Langell and plan on supporting him when we move this to a vote. Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will still stand behind Mr. Peter Caruso. I think his business experience and what he's done in the past, as well as his experience of being a town administrator in the town of Melville, I think he's the right fit for us. I think Edward Langell from the city of Weymouth, though he's done a good job out there, I think anybody that was in, I won't say anybody, but I think with him, the city of Weymouth is still growing, especially when you get the air base, and they just, I think, approved developing more of that land, and as well as the build-out of the city of Weymouth as well in regards to more development of apartments and all that, I think it raises a concern for me and as well as many other residents in regards to the direction of where Marshfield is going and I don't think a lot of people here want us to start looking like Weymouth, in my opinion. And I think I've heard from a number of people in regards to that, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at. And now that we have our third member, Chris, everything rides on him. And I don't know if he's ready to make that decision or not tonight. So I guess we'll have to wait for Chris to opine and.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Rowland.
Okay, so I know it's my first meeting, but I have done a lot of research on both of these candidates. As someone who's served in many capacities at C-levels for large corporations, small startups, different types of businesses, I have some good keen insight on different types of people and their leadership styles. I watched both of the interviews, and I've done some of my own research on the side to learn a little bit more about Mr. Langell and Mr. Caruso. And I will say that I am more leaning towards Mr. Langell, and here's why. Because I worked in multiple large businesses such as New York Times, hundreds of millions of dollars, much like Mr. Atwater just talked about. And I also worked for brand new startups where I was employee number 2. And I think I came to those startups because they wanted my experience from working for large corporations, large businesses, and what I was able to accomplish there on a large scale. I learned a lot at those levels, and I was able to bring that experience back to a smaller company who really needed that experience and that type of leadership. And I also worked with a number of other businesses in Boston that were like that as well. They would go and find people who were able to lead at a large level and bring it down and bring it to companies. Small companies like Salesforce when they were brand new, and people like that, Facebook, when they were a little brand new tiny company. And they were able to go get leaders to do that. And ultimately what I saw in Mr. Langell is, he's had experience under multiple mayors, basically running a city and working with a mayor to do that. He has strong financial management background. And Weymouth has a $227 million budget to Marshfield's 100 and roughly, 10 now, 15? 115. So double the budget. But I do feel from watching him and learning about him that he could bring those experiences down to Marshfield. And I will tell you, when you go to work for a smaller company, you don't try to turn it into a big company. You don't always do. Sometimes it happens, but you really just want to do good and make it good for the people who have a dream and they want to bring things back and make things great. So that being said about Mr. Langell, Mr. Caruso, I thought he's a solid leader. He definitely has a strong background in finance, but you have to look at where he's at in a town that has a $7.7 million budget. 8, what? Oh, I thought I was being corrected. $7.7 million budget. So not getting into it too far into the weeds, I'm going to recommend Mr. Langell, and I would like to see him come to Marshfield and work with us.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. Okay, I'm going to move that the board vote to appoint Edward Langell as town administrator, subject to the successful completion of a background check and negotiations of a contract of employment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion from the board?
None.
No.
Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 2, 1. Just want to make a point of personal privilege real briefly and say that I want to point out and express my heartfelt appreciation to our interim town administrator, Mr. Moran. When Mr. Moran started back in, was it May of last year? April of last. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Sarah. When he started in April of last year, I'm sure he probably told his wife, "I'll be going to Marshfield for 2-3 months and then be done." And a little over a year later, here we are. But I really do want to express my heartfelt appreciation for everything that you've done for our town, for sticking it out with us. I know that it's been many late nights, many phone calls, and many moments of sometimes frustration and not understanding what is going on in this town. But as I'm sure you've also seen too, the spirit of our town, the spirit of our people is strong, and we thank you with all of our gratitude from this seat, from my position for everything you've done. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to everyone that's, taken the time to answer my questions or give me their opinion or whatever. This town is special. I've developed a great affection for it, and I will always remember my time here. But it's a wonderful town, and I think, you're headed for great things. So, I really, I'm thankful for the opportunity that all the select board members gave me during my time here. Each of them, I learned from each of them, and it's been a great opportunity. And if, going forward, if I can ever be of help, I'll be happy to help, but I won't be here every day.
Thank you again, Mr. Moran. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 2, which is the submission of town charter amendment changing the select board from 3 members to 5 members to the Massachusetts legislature. At the special town meeting held on April 27th, there was an article to increase the number of members on the Marshfield Select Board from 3 to 5. There was some significant discussion on the topic, but overwhelmingly, it passed. And in order for it to be approved and for the town charter to be adjusted according to the wishes of town meeting, it does require that the submission has to go to the state legislature for amendment of our town charter. As we've discussed before, Mr. Kelly and I, during a previous meeting, I am in support of moving this forward. It is the will of the people, and I think that the vote spoke for itself and continues to this time. Mr. Kelly.
Well, as everybody knows that I oppose this. I think it works. I think we work well with 3 members of the select board. I think 5 will be a lot, in my opinion. People say that it will create, you get more, I guess, diverse, but the whole thing is my look at it is that the only way you get that is if you have one person from each precinct to be represented. The other thing I wanted to mention, Mr. Chair, is that in the motion it says that the language contained in Article 6 for the special town meeting, that's not in our binder. And my other concern, I guess I would look at is that in case in the future, if people say the select board wanted to change it back to 3, I don't think there's anything in that language to allow it. So if you have the special legislature push forward on this, I think we're going to be, we couldn't make that motion in regards to the way the special, that language may be written in regards to what was brought forward at town meeting. So just wanted you to be aware of that, that what you put forward, you may not be able to change in the future if that was the thought going forward with future select boards.
Just pause on that for a second. Mr. Galvin, my understanding is that in a democracy, anything that is done can be undone. Is that not a factual statement?
Yes. I mean, if the special legislation is passed, then you'll need a further charter change.
Correct. Okay, thank you. Mr. Rowland?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to offer. I mean, the town overwhelmingly voted to move it forward. Will the people is always something I like to go for, so I think we should put it on the ballot. I mean, we should forward it to the state legislature and let them move forward with it. I think I agree that it's definitely going to add some more diversity to the board, allow people to debate a little more, and maybe, actually have more time to interact and do things together in the proper way without it breaking open meeting law. So I'm for it. The only reservation I have is, again, we need plenty of people to volunteer. We need good people to step up and volunteer for boards. And ultimately, if they decide that it's their destiny to try to go and be a member of the select board, then we should have those people. So I'm good with it.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. I just want to add one further comment for myself, and that's that Mr. Kelly has previously brought up the idea and concept of getting a charter review committee or commission together in the not too distant future. I still do support that, and I still would like to take that up as an agenda item sometime over the next few months, because I think that is something that we. This is only one piece of many different things that we need to look at together as a town. Right.
I absolutely
Yeah, go ahead.
agree with that as well. Mr. Kelly's correct. I think that we've tried to do it in the past, and it needs to be done. We're a fast-moving town. We're a very old town that's moving, in different directions, and I think it's always a good idea to take a look at things.
Yep.
I just want to add in that
Please.
in regards to the charter change, like I said, I think this is where this belongs instead of going for special legislation, in my opinion, as well as the director of finance and all that. I think there needs to be a full review of it. That's why, between doing this for the last couple of years and seeing how the charter is written and seeing how the select board's hands are tied in a lot of ways, as well as I think the state and its laws ties our hands from doing business in regards to running the town the way it should be. Going back to what Chris says in regards to communicating, well, the whole thing is that you can only communicate one-on-one. I think the one biggest thing, in my opinion, I've been public about is that in regards to having an effective select board, and not to say that you make agreements behind the scenes and all that, but the whole thing is that I think the ability to communicate, the open meeting laws really hamper our ability to communicate. The only time we communicate is when we're in front of each other, and sometimes you just don't know what's going to be said and all that and everything. At least if you had a chance to communicate in regards to what's coming up in the agenda, whatever, at least you could have that conversation and then talk about it in public. And I think the open meeting law is really constrained the select board in all towns and all boards that have to follow this in regards to the open meeting law. If the state legislature had to follow the same thing, nothing would get done in the state. So I think that's something that I think for you, Chris, and Rick, is maybe in the near future, maybe if you were interested in possibly changing it up so we could communicate, that we submit a letter to the state legislature in regards to that.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I move that the board vote consistent with the language contained in Article 6, which was approved at the April 27, 2026 special town meeting to request a special act of the legislature, amending Section 321 of the town charter to expand the Board of Selectmen from 3 to 5 members. Do I have a second?
Second?
Is there any further discussion from the board? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-1.
Mr. Chairman, technically, I I didn't hear Mr. Kelly vote, so it's probably an abstention.
You're, okay then.
I don't want to mischaracterize it, but I didn't hear him vote, so I wanted to make sure the record's clear.
Wait, you know what? I asked for all those in favor. I should ask for all those who opposed. All those opposed.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-1. Thank you, Mr. Galvin. Okay, next up on the list, agenda item number 3 is a discussion and vote on the submission of Town Charter Amendment establishing the position of Finance Director. This was another article. This was Article 22 that was passed at the April 27th annual town meeting, that the board revised the existing town charter to add language for the creation of a position of the Director of Finance. Mr. Kelly and I have also had this discussion before. I believe I've said my piece on this at length, and we had this discussion. This one was also overwhelmingly passed for what I believe were a number of very good reasons that I don't need, my opinion, don't need to be refreshed this evening. But I still stand in support of moving this forward to the legislature. Mr. Kelly.
Well, like you said, and it goes to the 5-member select board when I had the discussion with Mr. Fleming. And this is one of them, is that, you know, if I was on the outside looking in, I'd probably be all for it in regards to these matters. But we're on the inside and seeing the whole pitch and the operations, much like the 5-member select board. I don't think I'm not in favor of the director of finance. I think we have a finance team, and I think when we have Mr. Langell come on, he's going to be our director of finance regardless. We are in a budget shortfall right now. There is no need to create another position that's going to cost probably well over $100,000 to fill in light of our financial circumstances now and going forward. I think with both of you praising Mr. Langell's ability to do his job and all that, I think he should be able to handle the director of finance himself without us creating a new position and spending any more money than we have to.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Rowland.
Yeah, I mean, again, town meeting voted overwhelmingly to move forward with creating this financial director position. And again, going back to, you know, a lot of people I've spoken to, many people in this room, know that I think of this town as a business, even though it is a municipality. And I think it's very important you have the right people in place for those types of organizations where you're dealing with a lot of moving parts and a lot of money. And it's really important that you have the top financial leader. I believe that the town administrator is more like a COO type person, not a CFO type person. And as you all know, Eric, Rick, and I are the CEOs of the town. So I think it's really important. It's a missing part for a budget of so much, you know, so many $1 million, that we have a person that's defined as the financial leader in our town that we basically count on and expect to have accountability for our finances and how we, you know, provide professional tracking of budgets, billing cycles, funds, procurement, all of it. You know, I think it's really important. So, and on top of the fact that the town voted for it, the Department of Revenue, recommends this position as a municipal best practice. So I think it's very important, this position, and I do want to move forward to it. And in my experience, when you hire the proper top financial leader, the amount of money that financial leader earns in that position usually gets more than made up for in savings, revenue, and just professionalism. So I'm for moving forward with this and doing the will of the people.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. Okay. I'm going to move that the board vote consistent with the language contained in Article 22, which was passed at the April 27th, 2026 annual town meeting, that the board petition that the general court request a special act of the legislature to amend the Marshfield Town Charter by adding new language in sections 414 and a new section 415 to create the position of Director of Finance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion from the board?
None.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, Mr.
Sorry.
Galvin?
There was a second part to that article, section 5.2, submission of budget message. It was the end of the article.
I must be looking.
There were three sections to the articles.
Yep. You have something written up, because
If you just move it as contained in the warrant, it's fine.
okay, so I need to amend what I just moved to include,
There's a 5.2, section 5.2.
all right, let's pause for a second so I can understand what we're talking about here.
I have the warrant in front of me,
Okay,
okay, and you said 414 and 415.
yep, which
There was
is,
the section 1, there was a section 2, and there was actually a third section, and the 5.2 submission of a budget message, and some language there. So I think you should just move it as contained in the warrant, and then you will have done it correctly.
okay, so help me out then with this, because we need to revise this motion. So, the board consistent with language contained in Article 22 as written,
Correct.
and then leave out the
Section numbers,
section numbers.
correct, and I think that'd be perfectly appropriate.
Okay. All right. I move that the board vote consistent with the language contained in Article 22 as written, which was passed at the April 27th, 2026 annual town meeting, that the board petition the general court and request a special act of the legislature to amend the Marshfield Town Charter by adding new language to create the position of Director of Finance.
Yes, and
And
related.
all related matters contained within the article.
Correct.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion from the board?
I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
The way this is written, is this supposed to go to a ballot question afterwards?
I don't think this goes to a ballot, right? This
Up
is,
to the legislature if they impose that requirement, but it's not contained in the article.
it's not required for that kind of a change. Okay,
It is not, unless the legislature incorporates it in, and it's not in the draft.
got it. Okay.
All right, I just wanted, because I see language here for it, so I just wanted, I wasn't too sure, I'm like,
Section 3, hold on.
that I was going to.
I'm trying to read through it quickly. The last section, this charter amendment shall be submitted for acceptance to the voters of the town of Marshfield at an annual town election held following its approval in the form of a question which should be placed on the official ballot to be used at the election, and the ballot question is there, so it would go back to a vote.
So it has to get approved by the legislature, and
Then it would come
then,
back for a charter change vote at
Okay.
a special election.
good catch, Mr. Kelly. Well done, sir.
Well, the whole thing is that where I didn't have language in for the five-member board in there, is that the same language almost?
That was a citizen's petition article.
Wasn't this one as well?
This was not this was a select board article.
I don't think so. This was
It
citizen.
was a select board article.
Was it a select board?
It was written at the request of the select board, drafted and reviewed by the select board, and submitted into the warrant.
Oh, you know, that's right, I remember that. Yeah, okay. Yep, I remember that. Okay, so, all right, yeah, so,
So this will go to the legislature, and if they approve it, it comes back, and then the town has to take a townwide vote, so we.
Majority vote.
Yep,
yeah,
okay.
that should be,
Incorporated into an
spring.
election, yeah. Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
aye. No, what I was going to say.
I know what you meant. All right, the motion carries 2-1. We're going to move on to agenda item number 4, which is the discussion and vote on setting the election date for the operational override ballot question approved by town meeting. Ms. Casper, you want to come on up? Sorry for making you wait.
That's all right.
Okay, so At the continuance of annual town meeting on June 15th, there was a operational override question before town meeting. We took a vote, town took a vote on option 3A, which was the base budget, and that's the budget, and correct me if I get any of this wrong here, Peter, but that's the budget that the town is operating by currently, by law, because it's the only one that we're allowed to do with the way it's structured. So 3A is the budget we're operating under as of July 1st of this year. Then there was a vote held for option 3C, which was a $7 million override, Proposition 2.5 override that went before town meeting. And that vote passed by, does anybody have the numbers? How many? Nobody off the top of their head? It was a pretty huge, it was a very, very big portion of those folks there. I would guess 80 to 90% plus. Yeah. So it's pretty significant. So the purpose of this agenda item is to establish the date on which said vote could occur, as it is a Proposition 2.5 override. It not only requires approval by town meeting, but it also requires a approval by the majority of voters at the ballot box in order for it to take effect. So a couple questions. Ms. Casper, as far as a date for the election, we've had a lot of elections, and we got more elections coming up. Is there a way for us to squeeze this into the primary election happening on September 1st?
Yes and no. I mean, we can have it on September 1st, but it's going to be running concurrently with the September 1st primary. So it will be its own election. It will be in the same room at the same time, but it will be a separate election. Separate check-in, separate ballot, separate checkout.
Okay. And there's no way to combine? I mean, I've done this homework, but I'll ask it again. There's no way to combine it all into one ballot to make it really easy for the voters. We have to do it two separate. And can both ballots be handed to the person at the same time, or do they literally have to go from one computer to another? Or one person, I should say, to another?
They literally have to go from one table to the next table. We have to run two separate lists. We have to run two separate machines. We have to run, in this particular case, it would be three separate ballots, because there'll be a Republican ballot and a Democratic ballot for the primary, and then there'll be a separate ballot for the override.
And can you help, I'm sorry, I was just going to ask you, can you help most of us understand why that is, right? Because obviously the natural thought is, well, that's crazy. Why couldn't we just smash them all together into one ballot? How come why do we have to do them separately?
The timing is actually different for a federal election and for a local election, number one. The federal ballots have already gone out. They were available 45 days prior to the election. So they've actually already been sent out to all of those voters. With a local election, you only need 35 days. So today is basically our drop dead date for that, if we want to have it on September 1st. Also, too, the combining the two elections on one ballot is, we would have had to have given them the information a long time ago. Basically, all of that information is translated into many different languages, available at many different formats, and it's a giant process, much bigger than me. So the formatting is done on a national basis by two different vendors that closed more than a month ago.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Casper. I don't have any further questions. Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, I guess, what are we gonna do here? Well, I guess, what are you two gonna do here in regards to September 1st or not? I guess, in regards to the whole situation.
Oh, it's a question. So, yes, September 1st, I think, makes sense. We can get it on the same day. I realize, and I feel for you. I'm watching the look on your face. But I will tell you that there will be thousands of voters that will be happy that they don't have to go out twice to vote. And I realize that that puts a lot of pain and frustration and work on you.
It's not just me. I mean, we literally will need to recruit 50 more people to do this at minimum. We're going to have to train them. The approach is going to be different. We're going to have to come out with right now, I'm looking at making everything yellow so that it will stand out and be separate and distinct. One thing that I should make perfectly clear is that people who vote in the primary are not required to vote in the override. So they don't actually have to go and get ballots, and vice versa. People can vote in the override and they don't need to vote in the primary. So, you know, we may have, our ballot, there may be ballot differences.
Okay.
So I'm just, people might have very strong opinions about one or the other. And, that could bring out very different groups of people.
What is the reason why they couldn't, the override and couldn't be on the ballot for the primary?
All of that information needs to be available ahead of time. We don't actually produce these ballots. We will produce this ballot for this override, but LHS and ESS and the state actually produce ballots for the state outside of Marshfield. So the state actually will produce a ballot for us if we can get them information in advance.
So because it's state and federal officials, right? Because it's not just state officials, there's also federal officials. like
Yes.
U.S.
It's not just.
Congress.
It's called a state primary, but there are state races and there are federal races on this ballot. And there are timing issues on this ballot that do not affect local ballots. It's two separate things. I know one would think that all of the rules would be the same for everybody, but they're not.
I don't know, I thought you had at least 35 days to get the stuff in.
It's 45 days if it's the federal. So actually, all of my things for the federal election have already started. I actually
Yeah, so-
have ballots for the federal election in my office right now.
Isn't the federal on the same as the state in regards to the primaries?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're in my
Yeah.
office right now.
So you have the federal.
That's why, do you remember when all the news came out about the very last minute they were making decisions on which ballot questions were going to be on which ballot? That's why it was such big news that they were making decisions at the very last minute, because they had to produce ballots. They had to be out by the 45 days. So while we are actually producing ballots now electronically, those decisions and that wording had to be finalized by those 45 days. So our elections division at the state was having conniption fits, basically, because they had to have all of that timing so that we met the 45 days on the federal election ballot timing. So if you go back and you read those stories, that's the reason that it was such a big deal.
Yeah, but those questions aren't happening until November.
Yeah, but it's the timing. It's all the timing.
All right.
Mr. Rowland?
Hold on, just make sure I've made any questions.
Written.
No, I mean, I think that's fine. September 1st seems fine to me. I mean, it's within the time frame, correct? I mean,
Yep.
the one question I do have, I mean, so they would receive 2 ballots then, or they would have to request a ballot?
Yep.
They would just be available, and then they would come to request them, correct?
We'll have early voting. If
Right.
you guys vote for early voting, we will have early voting.
Well, we should.
Yes.
We've seen that that works well.
It worked exceptionally well for the last election. Exceptionally well for the last election.
I concur.
Well, I mean, well, of course you concur. But it worked, it's been working better and better every time, which is very nice. I do appreciate that. Anything that gets people more involved in elections, I of course am for.
And that's really why I concur.
But, okay, we'll go with that.
Okay.
So I think that anything that we can do to get people comfortable with coming to elections in any way, shape, or form is a good thing. And for example, just doing the elections electronically for people who are in the military and who are living overseas is a huge step forward. So I think that, we're getting there.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. For Mr. Galvin, you have a copy of the motions as written right now?
I do not, but I can,
Take a,
they changed after I submitted them, but let
I
me,
think Chelsea has it. Do you have a copy of the motions that Bob could look at? I just want to make sure that it's written in a way that doesn't preclude us from doing early voting. Because Ms. Casper just said that we would need to ask her or tell her to do early voting.
you would need to give her instruction to that effect, yes.
Right, so that would need to be included in the motion as written, correct?
Yes, let me.
The draft motion, yeah, take a second.
If we want to get our money back, you have to tell me to do it. We want our money back.
Well, while we're talking about that, just for a second, for everybody at home listening, we get our money back for early voting, or a chunk of it back from the state.
No, we get our money back.
We get all of it
All of our money back.
from the state.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't even know.
good to know.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Louise, would you have to have like 2 separate tables set up then for each precinct? 2 different ballots?
Yes. So we have to have two different, we have to have a primary, we'll have to have primary, and they'll have the 2 ballots, and then we'll have another table just for the local. Since, we're killing time here.
Ms. Casper, will we have enough mechanical, like, iPads in the machines to do it?
We have to rent a couple of machines to actually do it, but the last presidential election, they had surplus machines, and we had surplus money. So for $100, we were able to buy 5 extra machines. So we did that, and then we've been using them for early voting ever since. Because you can process ballots early.
Insert the date in here, the town clerk. Then you're gonna add to the end and to, request the town clerk establish a compliant voting process for the selection.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Galvin. All right, I move that the board vote to set the date of September 1st, 2026 for an operational override ballot question to provide $7 million to fund the Article 3C budget, which was approved at the June 15th continuation of the 2026 annual meeting, and that the select board notify the town clerk of said vote and to request the town clerk establish a compliant early voting process for said local election. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board?
Yes. I
Mr.
do
Kelly.
want to read a brief statement here. Remember when the police presented their budget before our board a few weeks ago? Chief Tavares explained that the reason they have more personnel expenses is because they get more calls and there's more people in town. That makes sense. On the other hand, the school enrollment has gone down by 1,100 students since 2010, yet they've increased personnel. They'll tell you they cut positions recently, but net, they've added staff. They added an assistant principal to each of the 5 towns' elementary schools. They've added a 3rd assistant principal to the middle school. They've added a director of digital learning, an assistant athletic director, as they talk about increasing athletic user fees. The schools now charge parents a fee for the children to ride the bus. They've added math coaches, literacy coaches, social workers, and technology integration specialists, to name a few, as the enrollment has been steadily going down. Not one person in this town is advocating for piss-poor schools or even mediocre schools, but it seems like going against the school budget in any sort of critical way is like touching a third rail. Look at me. They led a recall effort for not going along with them. I asked Dr. Sullivan at a town meeting last year the cost of unfunded mandates. I didn't get an answer. The assistant superintendent spoke afterward, as did the school committee chairman, Sean Costello, who also didn't answer my basic question about the cost of unfunded state mandates. Since the town was using the Commonwealth over the MBTA Communities Act as an unfunded mandate, you'd think the schools would have connected the dots and thought, gee, if the select board is going after unfunded mandates, maybe they can help us provide with some relief. The school administration, school committee have instead come across at times as superfluous, and in my case, vindictive. That's why the schools need a thorough, independent, and efficiency review before we allow them to expand their budget another $1. Mr. Chair, as we discussed in previous meetings, the need for efficiency study. The schools should be first up as they take half the town's budget. I fully believe that all our town budgets, all our town departments should go through an efficiency study before this override goes through, in my opinion. Like I stated in my run for select board, that I was opposed to increasing any more taxes, and I will stand by that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Any other further discussion from the board? Seeing no discussion, all of those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All of those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 2-1. Okay, next we're going to go.
Mr. Chair, can I make a point of order?
Sure.
I just want to confirm, because now I was looking at this, that there was the vote where you said all those in favor. I can't remember which one at this point, but it was one of, I think it was 3, or it might, I think it was 3, and you didn't ask for all those opposed, and then we changed that, and Eric voted to oppose. I think we did the same thing on Article number 1. That you didn't ask for all those opposed. I just want to confirm that Eric was in opposition of Ted Langwell.
You were correct.
Am I correct?
No, you're correct that we missed that. And
Okay, I just want to make sure for the record.
you're opposed to Mr. Langell? Yeah. For the record? Okay.
For the
thank you.
record. Okay.
Okay.
Do an official vote on that?
Well, we can't, I mean, do it.
I like
You're on the
Mr.
record.
Kelly's thoroughness,
I
so
agree.
let's do a second vote. I move that the board vote to appoint Edward Langell as town administrator, subject to
What you
the.
would
I vote.
first is
Hold on.
Thank you. I got to rescind.
Reconsider.
Yeah. Move to reconsider.
Move to reconsider, so that reopens the question, then you can bring the motion again, you can have the vote, and it can be 2-1.
Okay. I move that the board reconsider the agenda item number 1, and that the board vote to appoint Edward Langell as town administrator, subject to the successful completion of a background check and negotiations of a contract of employment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
All right.
Okay, so the question's open again, and you can vote on, you can move the question again as it was, and Eric can be recorded voting no.
Thought that's what I just did, but I'll say it again. Okay.
You just.
Just reopened it.
reconsider.
Okay. All right.
Opened it, it's on the floor, you can discuss.
I move that the board vote to appoint Edward Langell as town administrator, subject to the successful completion of a background check and negotiations of a contract of employment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Further discussion?
Any discussion? I'm sorry, that's right, we need discussion. Is there any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland, for
right.
correcting me.
This one, be thorough.
Thank you and no thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next up is a discussion and vote on the establishment of a 7-member Economic Development Advisory Committee. Could I ask the IT group to bring up the slides that I provided them earlier?
How come you don't have these printed up?
I did not get a chance to complete it beforehand. Okay. I wanted to bring a proposal to the Select Board, and this is a proposal. This is something that I had brought up. If we could keep it down in the audience, please. This is something that I brought up during annual town meeting on June 15th, and when I was speaking in support of Article 3C. I had cited a couple of different ways that I think that we need to address the future in order to make sure that we're not coming back to the residents of the town asking for further overrides in the future. And one of those ways is to make sure that we're not just addressing expenses, but that we're also addressing revenue as well. Because any revenue generated from businesses and business growth within our town means that it's one less dollar that we have to ask our residents for. And I think that that's important. If you look at towns across the Commonwealth, of which there's 176 or so of them, there are so many that have economic development advisory committees. And the reason is that the Select Board is obviously busy doing so many things, and having a committee of folks, especially folks that come from the business community, that can spend time looking at policy initiatives and ways to be able to increase revenue growth from the commercial sector, right? This is not growth in terms of more buildings and more residents, but in terms of supporting our business sector in order to be able to offset revenues that are required from property taxes. Those efforts have been successful throughout the state. Not every town, not every city has an advisory committee. Oftentimes they will hire somebody, and this is their full-time job. This is what they focus on. What I'd like to propose this evening is that the Select Board create a 7-person board. The seats would be filled by the Select Board. These seats would be filled by September 30th of this year, so that would leave us 60 days to put out a call for applications from members of the community to apply. And each one of those 7 persons would serve 3-year staggered terms. The purpose of the Economic Development Advisory Committee, as is on the screen for everybody to view right now, is first and foremost to advise the Select Board and other town boards on policies in support of economic growth. This isn't trying to turn Marshfield into a metropolis. This isn't trying to create a special purpose business district and build big fancy buildings and have turn this into a gigantic place of commerce. But we have so many businesses that support residents of our town, that provide employment for people in our town, and most importantly, provide tax dollars. And supporting economic growth, I believe, is an imperative as we look towards the future and try to find ways to prevent future overrides. Second is to expand the commercial industrial tax base, look at ways that we can do that. Third is to identify economic trends and develop recommendations to attract new businesses. Again, there's a lot to be done from the Select Board's position and even from the new town administrator's position in having a group of concerned citizens to help provide information to this, I think would be important. Also advocate for state and federal grants and incentives and improve relationships and communication with local businesses. I think that this last part is especially important. Again, our businesses are a vital part of our community. They're part of how we thrive, and being able to work with them and foster that connection between government and the commercial businesses in our town is important. Some examples on focus points on where this committee could spend their time is looking at ways, first of all, to strengthen a vibrant and walkable mixed-use downtown with inviting public realm improvements, to assist and work with the members of the Brant Rock community, looking at what revitalization actually means and what we can do to support that part of our community in successfully supporting members, our residents that live there. And lastly, industrial park support. We have Enterprise Park is a wonderful asset that we have in our town, and being able to support growth over there, I think, is important. These ideas, I also want to mention too, these aren't mine. I didn't wake up in 2 o'clock in the morning and say, oh, I got a genius idea. I thought of something that 176 towns hadn't thought about before. But in 2023, the town of Marshfield produced an economic development plan for our town. It's probably 100 pages or so thick. You can find it online. You can Google it and find it right away. In there is a strong blueprint for what we can do as a town to maintain our culture, to maintain the character of our town, while also supporting business growth in a way that complements our town and complements our tax base. I think that this is an important piece, going back to the early days of Mr. Moran's tenure here, which is he looks at the door on the way out. One of the very first things Mr. Moran and I talked about was that it wasn't only about looking at expenses, but it was also looking at revenue. Last note, in regards to the members that could participate in this Economic Development Advisory Committee, obviously any member would need to be a member of the public that is a full-time resident of Marshfield, and it could be any member of the public. But especially encouraging local business owners who have residency, of course, in Marshfield, or those with significant local business experience, that we encourage those folks to apply. And this is a opportunity for us, again, to have a group of folks in town that focus their time and attention and resources on advising this board to come up with policy initiatives and ideas to support our tax base. That's my presentation and what I'm proposing tonight to the board, and I'd like to open it up for comments and questions, and I'll start with Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is there more to this?
This, as far as
The only page?
this is the only page, yes, sir.
I mean, I'm more than willing to have a discussion with this, but it's not in my binder. This is all, brought right on to me right now. So, I mean, when this gets inserted into my binder so I can look into it more, I'd have more than be happy to have a discussion on it.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Rowland.
I know that there has been conversations about this, and there has been an economic report produced in 2023. I too would like to see a little more. I think this is a great overview of what this could look like, and I think we really would need for the people to really understand what the detail is on each of these. I mean, overall, I think the overall view of this is 100% something I would love to see. I mean, I am all for collaboration on revenue streams and identifying new revenue streams and where those come from. I mean, I have a background my entire life in sales, so I mean, you're always expected to bring in new revenues and look for ways to find ways to bring in new revenue. So I'm all about that, and I do believe in collaborative approach to that. But I think I'd like a little more detail on what that would look like. And besides the fact that they're a full-time business owner or a local business owner, what does significant business experience mean? What does that mean? I mean, is it 10 years in business? Is it being an entrepreneur? Is it a CEO? I don't know. I do know that we have a lot of smart business people in this town, and this town has been able to grow revenue in creative ways through different channels. But I'm 100% for doing it. I just think that it would be good to put a little more meat on that bone before we create the actual committee.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. To answer your question directly in terms of business experience that we would ask folks to have, I think recognizing the fact that there's a variety of flavors, if you will, right, of business or residents that have business experience and those that are business owners. I think putting a particular requirement that they have a certain number of experience or that they must own a business in town or whatnot wouldn't be conducive to what we're trying to do. I think that we want to leave it as open as possible while, again, encouraging, like, at the end of the day, it's up to the select board to decide who it is. I mean, we can get 50 applications, we get 2 applications. It's up to the select board to decide who we're willing to move forward and nominate and add to this committee. And, of course, up to those that we say, you know what, we just don't think that that person would be a good addition at this time. So I think that we need to keep it as open-ended as possible, or as open as possible, I'm sorry, to make sure that we attract as many good and concerned and citizens and people with experience that are willing to pull up their sleeves and willing to do the work. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I'm thinking about being on other committees and knowing what the commitment would be, right? So how is that defined, and how often would you meet, and what would be, I see that you have the three-year term, and I understand that, and ultimately, would this be something that we'd have to make a charter change for? I mean, we have these committees.
No.
We would not, okay.
There's no charter change, and to answer your question, I think as far as how often the board's meeting or the committee's meeting and all that kind of stuff, similar to our existing committees today, I think we leave it at the discretion of the committee. I believe that it's the role of the select board to establish the policy, to put the initiative out there, to say what the charge is, and then allow them to be able to go from there and determine how they operate. So let's take the advisory board, for instance. There is no 5-page document other than what the advisory board itself has produced that says what the advisory board does other than what's in the charter, and which is a sentence or two, I believe.
True.
Right? So other than that, we pretty much leave it to the advisory board, and I'm just picking on the advisory board for a second, to determine how often they meet, how they structure themselves, how they work, and everything else. We dictate, as the select board, how many members they have, what their charge is, right, what they have to deliver to us as the select board and to the town. But outside of that, it's up to the board, to the committee, to kind of use their own professional and best judgment to run themselves. And obviously, if the select board ends up having a major issue with that, then that'd be something that we would address at that time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, ultimately, the first step would be identify interest, right? Identify the people that would be interested in serving on such a committee. And I always like to get people involved in what the scope of things look like, including budgeting. I mean, I like to have people involved in it. They're going to have to be held accountable to it. And if you're going to be on the committee, I think it's kind of exciting for people who have a background in economic development and sales to be able to join a committee like this and help craft what it looks like and what it would bring to the town, right? The one question I would ask you is if, as they find opportunities and bring them forward, would that be a town meeting thing, do you think, or would that be a select board thing?
No, again, this is a policy advisory committee, right?
Okay.
So they're There, again, as it says in the purpose there, and by the way, if you look at this and you go look at other towns and the way they've structured, it's very much along these lines. But the very first bullet there is to advise the select board and other town boards on policies in support of economic growth. That's obviously a pretty big,
Yeah, sure.
right? That could include a lot of different things. And again, our expectation is to build an advisory committee, or what I'm proposing, I'm sorry, is to build an advisory committee with folks that will go and do that, not try to boil the ocean, right? Not try to how to figure out how to do everything in the world, because similar to like the advisory board, if you go and try to boil the ocean, you end up doing nothing.
I see what
right?
you're saying.
And it would just be a group of people that get together and talk about a whole lot of stuff. But we could also put parameters in terms of, or I'm sorry, expectations around how often we expect them to come back with a report and to have a more formal discussion with this board as far as what their recommendations are.
Okay. I think that's good.
Good. Any other discussion, questions? All right, great. Well, I appreciate you both listening to my proposal. I will bring it up again at our next board meeting, which is next Monday. Is it next Monday? The 3rd?
We got alcohol.
The 3rd.
to do.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I'll bring it up again then, and if you have any other questions or whatnot, please, or suggestions, by the way, if there's anything that you think, like, hey, I think we need to address this, that, or the other thing, please come prepared so we can discuss that. And Chelsea, if you could make sure that they get a copy of this as well. I'll provide you a copy of this, so that way you can make sure you
good.
share it.
Yeah, good. I like that.
Okay? Very good. All right, thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 6, which is the proclamation of proclaiming August 2026 as Purple Heart Month in the town of Marshfield. We have representatives. Miss Potts, Miss Paulette, come on up.
You gonna sit?
Yeah, come on up, have a seat. You don't have to stand.
I don't want to stay that long. We're busy,
We're busy.
but never too busy for you.
Thank you. I wanted to put this on the agenda as August. August has been typically in Marshfield recognition of our town as a Purple Heart community. And so the town has historically recognized August as Purple Heart Month in recognition of Purple Heart Day, which is upcoming. So I thought maybe I'd ask you first to provide a little bit of background on Purple Heart Day, what that means, the town of Marshfield's standing as a Purple Heart community, and specifically what your department is doing to support our Purple Heart recipients in our town.
So we do absolutely support Marshfield becoming a Purple Heart town, recognizing the Purple Heart Day every year on August 7th, and a Purple Heart Month. So Purple Heart Day is not a celebration of an award. It's not something you are, that is celebrated, because it's a solemn reminder of extraordinary sacrifices made by those who shed blood in defense of our freedoms. It's a day to pause and reflect and ensure that those who carry the visible signs and wounds of war, that they are remembered, respected, and never alone. And the greatest way that we can honor them is not only with our words, but with our actions, in supporting them, their families, and ensuring their sacrifices are never forgotten. And we feel it's important to have these things, like whether it is Purple Heart Day, month, the signs when you're coming in and out of a town, because we are very busy people in general. And sometimes we need a little flick to say, you know, don't forget what people have done for you. Do not forget our veterans. Do not forget our servicemen. Do not forget those who have died for us here in town, right? So we're just for recognizing that and bringing that forward to everybody, to also take a minute and remember those who have either died or have wounds of war. And we deal with that every day. We have all the families. We have families every day that come into us for help with either their families or themselves. So it's just really important to know and make them feel like Marshfield cares.
Thank you, Ms. Paulette. Appreciate it. Questions, comments? Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, we got August 7th as Purple Heart Day recognized on this proclamation. But how did this turn into a whole month?
What do you mean?
Well, it's a month, but you recognize one
Purple Heart
day.
Month. It's recognized federally as Purple Heart Month, and
It's a federal recognition.
What's a federal record?
so the
Purple Heart
Purple
Month.
Heart Month is recognized across the country. So it makes sense to us to also want to honor our Purple Heart recipients and those in town as,
As the rest of the country does.
But then you have, on the bottom, it says recognize August 7th as Purple Heart Day.
right?
Correct. That's always been the case.
We do Purple Heart Day every year, and you can, many towns like ours, you can combine it with now Purple Heart Month. So instead of doing two proclamations, because I know proclamations
Right.
start getting overwhelming, so you can combine them so you can recognize both Purple Heart Day and Purple Heart Month. The signs for the town, being a Purple Heart town, that stays. We do not have to do that every year.
Every year.
Correct.
So it's important. If you are a Purple Heart, if you are a survivor of war and you have a Purple Heart and you're living in the town next door and your town isn't recognizing you and you don't feel what you've given matters. It's just really important to let people know that those things matter. What they did mattered, losing a leg, losing a life, losing an arm. It matters, and it's heavy. And it's heavy on the families who have to carry them throughout the rest of their lives because now they're a changed person. It's more than just saying it's a day or a month. It's the meaning behind it, and it's very, very important. More than you would know if you sat in our chair for a minute. You would just not even question, I promise you.
Is, in doing a little homework, I mean, are there any other medals that kind of recognize what you just made out to be of the Purple Heart?
Not right now.
So the Purple Heart actually is one of the oldest medals, right? Given
Yeah.
in war. And without getting into history. But it's a medal also that it's non-judgmental. If you injure yourself or you get killed in battle, you get a Purple Heart. It doesn't matter who you were, doesn't matter your rank. None of those things matter. Every medal is based differently, okay? And signed off differently. So if you did something heroic and your commander didn't like you, he might not sign that, and you never did it. But with a Purple Heart, if you are injured or killed in war, you're getting that medal. It's very important to recognize that. That is wounds of war or death.
And we speak about that in the proclamation.
Right.
Would you mind reading the proclamation aloud for us?
Sure.
Thank you.
Whereas the town of Marshfield, Massachusetts has been a proud supporter of its military veteran population, and whereas the people of the town of Marshfield have great admiration and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selflessly served their country and this community in the armed forces for the good of all, and whereas contributions and sacrifices of the men and women from Marshfield who served in harm's way in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedom and the way of life enjoyed by our citizens. And whereas citizens of our community have been killed in action while serving in the armed forces and have been posthumously awarded the Purple Heart for their ultimate sacrifice. And whereas citizens of our community have been awarded the Purple Heart for their bodily sacrifice of being wounded in action while engaged in combat. And whereas the heritage it represents is sacred to those who know the price paid to wear the Purple Heart. And whereas the Purple Heart is the oldest American military decoration in present use and was created as the badge of military merit on August 7th, 1782, in Newburgh, New York, by General George Washington. Initially, it was made of purple cloth shaped as a heart with the word merit sewn upon it. And whereas August 7th is nationally recognized as Purple Heart Appreciation Day, and the month of August as Purple Heart Month. Now therefore, we, the Marshfield Select Board, do hereby proclaim the month of August as Purple Heart Month and do further recognize August 7th as Purple Heart Day in Marshfield, Massachusetts, a nationally recognized Purple Heart town. and urge all residents to show their appreciation for the courage and sacrifice of our local Purple Heart recipients.
Thank you, Ms. Potts.
Should make you proud.
Yeah.
Always
What
proud.
I want you to feel is pride with that.
Yeah, but, I mean, you could show that in many ways, couldn't you?
Sure, and this is one of them.
Right.
Absolutely. There's only so much we can do.
Right.
There's only so much we can do on a grandstand. And this is one of them. I can go out there with a sign, or I can go out there, I mean, I'm one person. This is a community effort. This is something that comes from us as a community and from you guys. I think it's important to show that. That's the path, right? There's only so much we can do. And those are the things we can only do what we can do, and this is one of them. So I'm hoping that you can see how important it is to us, to the families left behind, or the families that are still struggling with their veteran. It's very important to recognize that, because this is all we have to offer as
As a community.
recognition, right?
I mean, it depends how you look at it, I guess. I mean, the whole thing is that you recognize on August 7th, and you're having a ceremony for that, right? So that's one way of recognizing it, right?
Yep.
There is.
Right? I mean, I just look at it too, is that I know there are other medals out there, like Valor or Honor and everything like that. So that's why I'm trying to, as far as I know, not being a military person myself, but everybody works as a team. And, you know, and they've done different things in their careers in regards to earning certain awards and everything like that. That's why I'm trying to like get a grasp of the Purple Heart and not recognizing other awards as well in regards to this.
So the Purple Heart is nationally recognized, so we're just basically following suit on what other towns and states are doing.
I think also, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I just think that it's a very important medal to recognize. Like Karen said, the families that come into our office that have been affected in the ways that we can't fix, we can only help and kind of temper that need and that pain. And like she said, having our town, I mean, the signs are, what do we have, 6 signs around town?
I think additionally,
that's very important.
The Purple Heart Medal is wounds of war, it's death, and it's injury, where if you earn different, other medals are earned by, like you said, right?
Valor.
What you do. They're your jobs, you know, or depending what the criteria was. So we're putting forth the Purple Heart. You can read through it, you can discuss it, you can be for it or against it at this point. I can only read it so much.
No, I appreciate that, Ms. Paulette. Mr. Rowland, do you have any questions or comments?
I mean, only have one question. Eric, Mr. Kelly, what is your major, I'm seriously asking, what is your major reservation for recognizing a month versus a day? I'm just wanting to understand where you're at with that.
My look at it, Chris, is that with all these proclamations, I just look at it as that people use them as a political tool, all right? And I know, not to say so much as maybe the Purple Heart, but maybe other proclamations, and the whole thing is that there are, I think anybody that's a veteran out there in this town that knows me knows I support them one way or the other. And the whole thing is that, that's what I was trying to get a basic understanding is after the last couple of years in regards to this, everything, like, there is plenty of other medals in the military that are earned by our soldiers. And so that's what I'm trying to understand between the Purple Heart and all these other medals, is that why are we picking one over the many that are out there? And it's my understanding from Lisa and Karen is that this is the only one that honors death and injury. Would I be correct?
Well, others might encompass that, but this is about being injured in war, or if you die in battle, you get usually
Posthumously.
posthumously awarded the Purple Heart. So,
I mean, when I look at it, Chris, it's just that with these proclamations, what I've seen anyways, is just, this is where I try to stay, I guess you could say, neutral. Other people won't look at it that way, you know, and all that, but everything is that if you want to honor something, you can do it in your own way, I guess, and all that and everything. And like I said, there's other awards. I mean, we're going to take this award. Why don't we take up all the other awards that are given to our soldiers that have earned them in their careers of service? I mean, this way I'm looking at it. This is I understand the sacrifice of what the soldiers have made in earning this, but there are plenty of other ones that those in the military that served that earned these medals and honors as well, and we're not recognizing them. I just think it's kind of, I don't know. I look at it as unfair in a way to everybody else that served, that you're going to pick one over the other and everything. That's the way I look at it, in my opinion. I mean, I'm more than willing to listen to if you got something else to chime in about, but.
No, the only thing I'll say is that, and I appreciate, I mean, that's your perspective, and I just wanted to hear it, but I've had the honor of knowing someone who's won a Silver Star for valor, and I've also had the honor of knowing people who have Purple Hearts, and I can tell you that the person, and the Silver Star is for valor, for going above and beyond to serve their country in combat, right? And I think I'm right? Am I right? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure my friend who had the Silver Star is never going to say that the people who have Purple Hearts shouldn't get all the recognition they get. So all I'm saying is I've been to VA hospitals and seen the devastation that's happened to people there. And some of those people never leave the hospital unless someone takes them out. And I think this is one way you can say to them, when everyone else was running away, you ran towards danger and you got injured. And so we recognize that. And I think President Washington saw that very early on, that it was something important. That's why he created it. So that's my opinion. I think we should do it. But I did want to hear your opinion on it because you were talking about 1 day versus 1 month. And I wanted to hear that. That's all. I respect your opinion, but this is my opinion.
No, I get that. I mean, that's the whole thing, is that why does everything have to be dedicated to a month? I guess you could say it's why not pick a day, much like what it says on the bottom here, that August 7th is Purple Heart Day as well. And that's the whole thing, is that in the military, there were so many honors that I would look at that maybe this should be something to recognize all that served in honor. I mean, when I researched it earlier today, in regards to the Purple Heart, I mean, even when I researched, it says that, like, I think the Medal of Honor, I think they consider as the highest honors, right?
Yes.
And I mean, the way it was worded in the online was that the Purple Heart ranks
Below that.
further down, the way they looked at it, So, I mean, that's just the way I'm looking at it, is that I understand the reason behind it, like you're explaining. It's just that I also look at that, why aren't we should be recognizing everybody else for what they've done, and also what they've earned through their course of the military service.
Yep.
I don't think that should be forgotten upon them. I think that's something that's special to them as well. They may not have died or maybe got injured doing it and everything like that, but they did do something to honor those.
I think that's part of the difference with the weight of the Purple Heart.
I'm going to make a motion to move to a vote. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, I move that the board vote to proclaim August 2026 as Purple Heart Month in the town of Marshfield. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board? I move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye. 3 ayes. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you very much. Okay, the next item on our agenda is discussion on an update on the proposed memorandum of understanding regarding a no new override pledge by Rick Smith. That's me. I have another surprise presentation for you. I know you love it. Don't worry. We don't have to vote on anything. All right, thank you very much. So I wanted to give the Select Board a little bit of a sneak preview of what I've been working on. Again, going back to the June 15th town meeting, I had said that not only would I be proposing an economic advisory committee, but I had also made it clear, too, that we can't find ourselves in this position again. And I think it would be absolutely irresponsible to wind up a year from now encountering a similar situation because we didn't take the opportunity to work together as different boards within our town to actually honor the wishes of the voters. One of the things that I'm sure Mr. Kelly heard when he ran for Select Board, I know I definitely heard, and I'm sure Mr. Rowland heard as well, is that people in town are sick and tired of seeing 3 different boards act like they're 3 different fiefdoms. It doesn't do the town well when we do that. And so what I have proposed, what I'm proposing, in the weeks coming up, I'm not proposing it tonight, but I wanted to give you a sneak preview of what I am working on, and having kind of preliminary dialogue as well with a few folks on the schools, to kind of gauge interest and thoughts on their side, is a memorandum of understanding that in fact does make a pledge for no new overrides for the next 5 years, and what to do to prevent further overrides coming in the future. So I wanted to walk through each one of these pieces here that I'm going to be proposing, and then of course take any questions and of course, if you solicit any kind of input, if there's anything that you think should be added or whatnot. The first one here is an annual budget and financial forecasting schedule. So right now, as most are aware, not only on this board, but within our town, that the only thing that's really required that most people know about is the budget. And this last year, we didn't even get the budget done on time. And so it's time to change that. It's time to put some hard and fast dates up for what we're going to be reporting and what we're going to expect and hold ourselves accountable for in terms of delivering a forecast in the short term and in the long term to the public. What I'll be proposing is, again, this is all conceptual, meaning that there'll be further detail and wording behind all of this, but first, inclusion of a quarterly expense and revenue forecast. So this is once a quarter that the finance team from the town produces an updated expense and revenue forecast for the next 2 years. So it goes out 24 months. The next is to have a 5-year revenue, expense, and capital budget forecast by the end of September every year. I think in order to be able to launch into a budget process, we can't be launching into a budget process where the Select Board and members of the town don't even have any idea of what exactly it is, what direction we're going in until the Select Board gets the budget at the very end of January. One of the things that drove me nuts on the advisory board was watching a process whereby it was expected under the town charter that the Select Board would deliver a budget to the advisory board, but instead what had happened for too many years was a process where the town administrator was actually presenting a budget to the Select Board and to the advisory board, which is completely, I think the term is bass-ackwards. It is wrong. And is not the way things should be done. This board is responsible for producing budgets. And in order for this board to be able to do its job and to be able to opine on what the budget may look like in the year ahead, to identify where there's areas of opportunity and challenges that we need to look at, we need to look at something much earlier. Obviously, the detail that goes into a 5-year revenue and expense forecast as well as a capital budget forecast, it's a 5-year forecast, right? So is it going to have line item detail for every single account? No, of course not. That goes into the budget. But it will provide a general guidance that informs where we go with the budget. Part of this is doing a joint meeting with the Select Board, the School Committee, the Board of Public Works, and the Advisory Board during that time. So when that forecast is provided, each of those boards collectively come together, and we can do a representative from each board. We can get everybody in here however we want to do it. But it is a collective collaboration between these boards to present on the financial condition of the town, the challenges and the opportunities that exist in the 5-year forecast going forward. One of the problems that we've encountered, right, is that everybody, it was kind of broadcast to us that everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, wow, we get we need an override. Like, that should have never popped up at the last minute. That should have been known several years in advance. If you look at other towns, they do this kind of financial forecasting many months in advance, years in advance, so they know what's coming up. They know if there's a challenge that's kind of out there on the horizon. While you can't predict everything perfectly, you certainly can look out at the horizon and say, you know what, it looks like there's some dark clouds there. Maybe that storm will pass, maybe it'll come right for us, but at least we're recognizing it for what it is and not standing by and waiting until the storm cloud is literally hanging right over the house and raining. We need to address it ahead of time. It also will address the annual town budget, and again, that it will start with the town administrator, who is responsible for the logistics of producing the budget and whatnot, but present it to the select board, and then the select board has an opportunity to address questions, to ask questions, to make changes, suggested changes, revisions, et cetera, and to direct the town administrator as opposed to the town administrator directing the select board. We can't have the tail wagging the dog any further. And as the chair of this board, having a new town administrator coming in, I want to set the expectation right up front that it is this board that's responsible for producing the budget, and the town administrator is a very important collaborative partner in doing so, but it is not their responsibility and their responsibility alone. After the select board's has approved it, it would then be presented to the advisory board. So that's the first part. The second part is in regard to public reporting. So again, as part of getting ahead of, as part of getting ahead of problems well before they come up, I will be proposing that at least once a month, the financial health of the town will be discussed and presented by the town administrator to the select board. Now, what does that mean, the financial health? I'm not proposing that we spend 4 hours talking about every account, every department, every little thing that's wrong or whatnot. I will ask the town administrator to propose a reasonable update on the town's financial condition once a month, and that will be publicly given here in front of this board. That is a matter of us holding ourselves accountable. It is a matter of us, again, seeing what is going on the horizon before those storm clouds show up and hang over our heads. Additionally, after the production of a full-year fiscal budget, that there would be another joint meeting. Again, because the budget, while it's the responsibility of the select board, the budget is also the responsibility in terms of the collaboration required by the school committee and the Department of Public Works and the advisory board. And to have all of these different boards all operating in their own kind of fiefdoms without collaboration with each other is just nonsense, and it's crazy. No company would do that, no profitable company anyways. And good town and good governance demands that we start working together. That doesn't mean that we're going to agree on everything, but it does demand that we start working together. Next up is revenue sharing with Marshfield Public Schools. One of the issues that we've had over several years now, and it's just gotten worse and worse, is that there's this annual debate that comes up with the schools in terms of what exactly they're going to get, what percentage increase they get. And it winds up being this huge clash. And then it turns into a political clash. And I think it's completely unproductive. The fact of the matter is that the schools have a very large chunk of the budget, and budget certainty is important to them, as it is to us all, but it's absolutely important to them given their operations that they run. The other thing that I don't like, that I've not appreciated about the way that it's been done is that when you start leaving things up to negotiation and you have a school committee and schools that have the kind of, I'll just be very blunt, the kind of political power that they do, not having parameters, not having guardrails, not having guidelines around how the budget gets done, simply sets the stage for asking for more and more and more without having a guardrail around it. So I've looked across towns and across the Commonwealth to see how do other people deal with it. I've looked at our own town to see how we used to deal with it in the past. And what I'll be proposing is a concept where we fix the percentage of, or that the schools, can look forward to every year for at least 5 years of this agreement receiving a fixed percentage of the revenues according to a fixed formula. This isn't just whatever the revenue is and you just, take X percentage of it and that's what you get. There's a whole bunch of math, there's a little algorithm that goes behind it and how it gets done. If you look at other towns that have done this successfully and removed the absolutely unproductive political craziness that goes on and establishes fiscal discipline, they've done this quite successfully with this. It avoids last-minute negotiations. It avoids the use of one-time funds when there's a defined calculation that we're using. This town has gotten too used to using one-time funds and then sliding that in there, and then everyone says, oh, well, we got it, and then they use it, and then the expectation grows even bigger the next year. We need to have discipline, and we need to have guidelines and parameters that everybody agrees on that this is the way that we're going to work going forward. We need to set expectations, and those expectations need to be clear. Number 4 is funding for new facilities and expansion of existing facilities. One of the things that our town has done really, really well is that when we have a great idea of something that needs to be built, something that needs to be acquired, we get together and we support it. But we don't do a very good job at funding everything that comes after that. When you go and build a building, there's going to be costs of maintaining the building, the electricity used for the building, the water for the building, of repair and replacement and maintenance and everything else that goes along with that. If it's ball fields, you don't just go put out a ball field and it just sits there and takes care of itself. It requires funds. What has happened consistently over the years is that we have gotten this very sloppy habit of approving things without approving the entire cost that goes with it, without approving the appropriations that are necessary in order to ensure that we can enjoy those facilities, that we can enjoy those grounds, that we can enjoy what we voted on without having to be concerned that we're going to have to pay the price later with disagreement and cuts and other things. So I will be proposing that when we do make requests of town meeting for the appropriation of newly constructed facilities, of grounds, the expansion of existing facilities, that they must include the appropriation of the annual operating funds. And I'll say this too, the Department of Public Works knows this better than anybody because their budget stays pretty consistent, goes up, a little bit every year, and we keep heaping more and more and more for them to take care of and complaining that they're not getting things done. And I'm sure that some of that, some of that criticism may be well-deserved, but a lot of that criticism is not, because we keep heaping on the ask and we're not paying for it. Number 5 is funding of the South Shore Vocational Tech without an override. The South Shore Vocational Tech, when it was voted in by the town, it was there was 2 questions on that ballot. And the question that passed is, will the town support adding this, a certain number of seats for every grade level going forward for the South Shore Vocational Tech? And the town absolutely came out and vote to support that. I support it I think it's a wonderful thing. However, we made a mistake because we essentially went to the car dealership, and the car dealership said, "Would you like a new car?" And we said, "Yeah." And he said, "All right, here it is. I'll come to you next week and see how you want to pay for it." And that was a mistake. So now we have this kind of potential override situation sitting over our head through, it would have to be funded through a debt exclusion override, so different than a operational override, but I'm sorry, but a debt exclusion ride may only be 20 years, but 20 years is like a lifetime to most of us. It's a long time, so it's darn near the same thing as an operational override. Those costs to build that building, to build that South Shore Votech School would come due beginning in 2029. And beginning then, if our town would have to pass some kind of a debt exclusion override in order to pay for it. I don't want to make a no new operational override pledge. I also want to make a pledge too that we will ask the new town administrator to, when they are preparing the 5-year financial forecast and plan, that they will look at how we can prevent having to ask for a debt exclusion override, and instead of funding this through general funds and restructure of existing debt to ensure that we don't have to ask the townspeople for more money. This is an expense that won't hit us until 2029, but as we know, 2029 is right around the corner. It'll be here before we know it. So when we start thinking fiscally prudently like this and say, geez, this is going to come up in 3 years, well, now we have time to plan for it. Now we have time to prepare for it. Now we have time to work with the schools to address how we can make sure that this is fully funded, so that way the students that are enjoying the South Shore Vocational Tech, that are going into the trades, can continue to realize that without having to go and hit up our taxpayers for more. Number 6, performance audits. This is, again, one of those items that I mentioned at the June 15th meeting, town meeting, which is that performance audits by third parties should be done on all major departments, including schools, prior to the next budget vote. Mr. Kelly mentioned it earlier in his comments about the need to do an efficiency audit. Mr. Kelly and I have agreed. We agreed viciously that, or not, that's not even the term. We agree, I think, in absolute lockstep that this must be done. We need performance audits, and a performance audit, for anybody who's forgotten, is simply looking for efficiencies in the operation. How can we operate better? It's not one that we do ourselves. It's one that we bring in a third party for. And by the way, I've done my homework on these. They're not as expensive as you might think. If you were a corporation and you were to bring in McKinsey & Company, well, forget it. There was no way that we could afford that. But the good news is we don't have to do that. There are state funds that are available to help us do some of this at low cost and no cost. And there is also funds that, as Mr. Kelly and I have discussed before, where for not a lot of money in comparison to the big giant picture, could help us find significant areas where we could improve operationally. I'd like these results to be made publicly available within 15 days of receipt. And one of the commitments that I'd be asking the schools to do is that this select board cannot tell the school committee what to do. The school committee is an independently elected body. However, I would be asking that the school committee again, agree to all of the things that I proposed here, including this. This does not require that the schools make a change. It does not require that they do anything. It does require that they do the audit and they make the results publicly accessible. And if the results of which show something or provides ideas or thoughts or whatnot that show that they have major improvements, or that the police department has major improvements, or fire, any department, it doesn't matter who you are, then it will be the responsibility of the politically elected officials to make those changes or to not. And if you don't, to answer to the voters as to why or why not. Lastly, and obviously this is the important part, is in condition of these all of these proposed areas, is that the parties, and in particular here is the schools and in the town, because this MOU would be, this memorandum of understanding would be between the schools and the town. I think we'll need to do something a little bit separate with the DPW. But to do a no new operational override pledge for the next 5 years with language that allows us to extend the terms of the override as necessary. So that's my proposal. I think we've got a lot of changes to make, and this is just a high-level summary of what I'm proposing to ensure that we take the first step. It won't be the last step. Mr. Lange will be expected to do quite a bit, but it would be the first step into setting the policy direction to getting us financially back on track to doing the things and taking the steps required in order to be able to get ourselves back into a solid financial position. So take questions and comments. Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I pretty much, I would say, without this print being in front of me once again, but wholeheartedly agree with you on it. I think first and foremost, the efficiency study is the most important thing to be done, and I would not leave it up to the schools to do their own. I think the select board should control all these efficiency studies. We do have the select board has the authority by charter to investigate all boards and committees. Okay, so I think we can use that as part of the efficiency study for the schools as an investigative matter in regards to their operations. So I think we should be in charge of the efficiency study and the overall picture of it, and they will follow our direction and nobody else's. I think in regards to funding for projects, and especially like you were talking about when we buy a building or a property, I wholeheartedly agree. I know I've brought up in the past that I get kind of pushback on, but the whole thing is that I think it's needed regardless if it hurts us in other areas of our budget, but we need dedicated accounts so we can build those accounts up so when something comes up, like you said, we have the money to pay for it. South Shore Vote Tech, I'd almost wonder if they should fall under our efficiency study as well. I know my times visiting that school and talking to the superintendent and walking the school's property. One, I'm not happy that they're building an entirely new school, which I don't think is needed. The old one is in great shape. All they need to do is put an addition on, and they could have worked with the rest of the property to make something effective, but they chose not to do that. But I do believe South Shore Vote Tech, we should consider, if possible, to put them under our efficiency study, because I do believe there's areas there that could be money saved. I also believe the overtime needs to be reeled in my opinion. I'm sure most employees do not want to hear that, but I'm not saying you can get rid of it all, but I do believe we need some more control over it. And I think that'll be, if possible, if we can get a control of it, that I think getting a hold of the overtime will be a good part in squaring up our budget going forward in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I appreciate your comments. Mr. Rowland.
Mr. Chair, I really appreciate you putting this document together. I wholeheartedly agree with this type of review and this type of detail. I especially think it's a very good time for this with a new town administrator coming on board. It's a very good time to work with him. I mean, we're calling him because it's Mr. Langell, but ultimately it's a very good time to work with him and take what you've done here and work with him to execute this. Hopefully he'll be bringing some of his expertise and may even be able to even improve. Not saying this isn't great, but you can always look for that collaborative effort. And again, I love collaboration because you never know where the next great idea is going to come from. So I think this is excellent. I did want to ask you, so you did, I just want to confirm, you did say that you would push for an outside firm to conduct this, correct? Conduct these firms, right?
That's correct. Yep.
So, ultimately, My feeling is if you're on an elected board like the school committee or the board of Public Works or the select board, I think it's important to get people's buy-in on things and include them and let them, do the job they were elected for. But if you're bringing in an outside firm, then that outside firm would answer to us as the select board, and basically I would expect those elected boards to conduct themselves with professionalism and work with that outside firm to make sure that the content is correct. And the other thing that I would say is that if we go through all of this and we do all of this, then I would expect that the people in Marshfield and many people who question the validity of reports and things would trust the fact that we did go through a proper channels, then the proper processes to make it happen. So I think this is excellent. I think we need to, to move forward on something like this. And I personally think that each of the boards should vote once we get to the final version of this MOU, I think they should vote to accept it and buy in. I mean, buy in as a board. So
Excellent.
that's my
Thank you.
thoughts.
No, I appreciate it. And I'll also just say, too, that anybody that was watching town meeting very closely on June 15th would also note as well that Mr. Costello, the chair of the school committee, did get up and say that he would support such an initiative. I've talked to him since then. I know that he continues to remain in support of this, and I think that this goes a long way into, again, setting a tempo and an expectation for all of us going forward. This isn't one board versus another or anything else, but this is instead a document that covers our collaboration going forward for the best interests of the residents of our town. Okay. All right, thank you. I hope to have more information on this soon, and stay tuned. Okay. Okay, the next item, excuse me, agenda item number 8, discussion and vote on an election of a select board clerk. Anybody want to be the select board clerk?
Well, we have vice chair and chair all set, so
I'll
All
nominate.
said, Mr. Kelly.
I'll nominate myself for select board clerk.
I'll second that. All in favor of Mr. Rowland to serve as the select board clerk? I'm sorry. I was going out of order. I will make a motion that the select board vote to approve select board member Chris Rowland as the clerk of the select board. Do I have a second?
second.
Any other discussion from the board?
I'm happy to do it.
I was going to say, I wish you well on it, Chris. Actually, I think you got a document to read at the end of this, don't you?
I do. I
You get to
do.
read that?
Is there a band that's coming up?
I'm going to leave it. I'm going to read it in the voice of Elvis Presley, if that's okay with you.
Please don't. Although that'd be
You
very.
guys are going to start regretting having me here.
Okay, we'll bring it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Okay, next item is agenda item number 10?
9.
9. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Number 9. Agenda number 9 is discussion and vote to reappoint retired Captain Michael McDonough as a special police officer. So for anybody that doesn't know, Captain McDonough, who has been a member of the Marshfield Police Department for more than 32 years, which is absolutely amazing. And Chelsea, I'd love to add to the agenda for next board meeting a citation of appreciation to Captain McDonough for his 32 years of distinguished service to our town in providing for the town's safety. But Captain McDonough is retired. He retired, I believe, on July 6th. I think he did it under the cover of night because I haven't seen him since then. But congratulations, Captain McDonough, on your retirement. Captain McDonough has been in law enforcement for obviously more than 30 years and began in 1994. Here in Marshfield, he served as a patrol officer, a detective lieutenant, and ultimately as captain, position he held for nearly 14 years. He's played a significant role in overseeing departmental operations, mentoring supervisors and officers and others. He's also made substantial contributions to regional law enforcement initiatives, and he was instrumental in the formation and continued success of the Old Colony Police Anti-Crime Collaborative, which is a regional law enforcement task force dedicated to investigating and dismantling high-level narcotics trafficking organizations. He has incredibly collaborative approach. He has the utmost respect of the members of the Marshfield Police Department. And we have received, this board has received a letter from Chief Tavares asking for Captain McDonough to be appointed as a special police officer. Special police officer would provide the Marshfield Police Department with an experienced, highly qualified officer who can immediately assist the department with traffic details and other assignments appropriate for a special police officer, while also helping address staffing challenges that do come up. Of course, this would all fit in under existing appropriation for special police officer duties that are used by the town of Marshfield's police department. So, thank you, Captain McDonough, for being willing to take on this new sort of part-time role when asked for by the Marshfield Police Department, and thank you, Chief Tavares, for recommending it. I stand in support of Chief Tavares' request, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Kelly for any comments or questions.
I have no comments in regards to Captain McDonough. I guess the only thing I have to say is that I guess as a board we'll be picking the next captain.
Yes. Yep. Mr. Merolin.
My only question is, do they outline any of the compensation for this position? I know that there are specific compensations for the special police officers, but
Yeah, so
since I'm
Kind
new,
of like details.
just details?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. I couldn't remember. Great. I wholeheartedly support Captain McDonough's appointment.
Well-paid part-time job.
Yeah, well, he's an amazing police officer who's dedicated his life to Marshfield, and now he's going to get to take some time off, which is great. So I'm for it.
Okay, I'll move that the board vote to reappoint Captain Michael McDonough as a special police officer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board?
None.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Moving on to discussion item or number 10, the discussion and vote on citations for Eagle Scouts. There are 3 male youth in Troop 101 of Marshfields that have recently achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, including Jason Armstrong, Sean Joseph Green, and Connor Patrick Withers. So they have all received the Eagle Scout Award, and in keeping with town tradition, like to make a motion that we approve citations recognizing their achievement as Eagle Scout and the contributions of them to our community. Any questions or comments, Mr. Kelly?
Just congratulations to Jason, Sean, and Connor. I have to ask, is there another Boy Scout ceremony coming up?
It's a good question. They had it before we even did this. Yeah. They'd still get the citations, but they actually had a ceremony a few days ago, or yesterday, actually. It was.
Oh, they did?
Yep.
Oh, you didn't tell us about it?
I found out about it the last minute, and I didn't show up as a member of the select board, just so you know.
You didn't show up either?
No, I showed up. I showed up as a leader, so, yeah. Any questions or discussion?
No, just real quick, congratulations. My oldest daughter is an Eagle Scout, and I think it's an amazing feat. It's unbelievable amount of work for a young person, so congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. All right, I move that the board vote to approve the citations recognizing the following individuals for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout: Jason Armstrong, Sean Joseph Green, and Connor Patrick Withers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board?
None.
Seeing no discussion from the board, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. On to item number 11, the discussion on free cash with Town Accountant Meg LeMay. Ms. LeMay, you're up. Thank you for your patience.
No worries, this is a very interesting meeting.
Go ahead.
I think this agenda item is here tonight because Eric had asked me to speak to free cash. He had received a couple of emails from a couple of residents. So it looks like, in general, the questions that were being asked were, one, when will free cash be certified? And two, can free cash be used to balance the budget? So to the first question, when will free cash be certified? It's generally certified in the area around October. And just as a status update of where we are right now, because people will ask, what is free cash looking like? What do you think the number is going to be? So the month of July generally is waiting for cash reconciliations to be completed. We can't start the process of closing the books until cash reconciliations are completed. That's our sign that we have our arms around everything, we've identified everything, we've captured everything. And then the second part is that the school department's still working on some final journal entries, and we're all kind of interconnected, so they're waiting to do their journal entries until we're done with cash receipts. Cash receipts were done as of last week until I hear from the treasurer's office that they've captured everything. So I think the school department right now is working on some journal entries. So once those pieces are done, then I have to go through my review, looking through, see if there are any, deficits, which there shouldn't be. And there's some just standard year-end journal entries that need to be done, and then reviewing, prepping, proofing, closing out. So, and I've checked with the school department. We're good to close around the September timeframe. So the second question.
When in September? It's just, sorry to interrupt you, but
When in September?
yeah, is that the beginning or end, more towards the end?
I can't remember what date I gave the school department. I want to say it was mid-September.
Have free cash, okay.
It's mid-September, and then so what happens with the closing process is you close in the test environment, make sure everything looks good, and then this is the way that it worked last year. We did it in test, then we did it in production, and then once it closes in production, then it's like 2 weeks of preparing a whole bunch of documents for DOR, because they have a whole bunch of different documents, and it all has to tie back. So that would be the process. And then to the second question, can free cash be used to balance the budget? And that would be not advisable. I guess just think in terms of when we're preparing the budget, you want to have whatever your recurring revenues are, your budget should be no greater than your recurring revenues. So like even, let's say you were doing a revenue projection in a particular year, you think that building permits are going to be particularly high, there's a development going on. You're not going to build a budget based on that increased building permit production because the following year it's not going to be there, but you still now own that higher budget. So we try to, it's, a basic accounting concept is matching. So whatever you're bringing in for revenue, your expenses should be no higher. You only charge expenses where they're budgeted. So it's all about matching. And, I guess the term that we've used before is that if you were to use free cash, you would be creating structural deficits, and it becomes harder and harder and harder to be able to create balanced budgets. And then the town does have a policy on free cash in terms of the threshold, because I know that the other thought is that, well, if free cash is a high number, we shouldn't have generated a high number. Why wouldn't that be used towards the budget? But the town does have a policy, and the exact wording is, the amount of money to be held in free cash shall not be less than 2% or more than 8% of the approved general fund operating revenue, less debt exclusions. So to put more of a number to that, it would be a range of about $2 million to $9 million, which is a large range. But it's there for a reason, because there are 3 acceptable uses for free cash, and that would be to fund capital. That's the big one, because you do want to have a sum of money available for capital. Capital is important, just down to cruisers or ambulances. They get worn out pretty quickly, so we need to have funds available for those purchases. It's also a coastal community, so you're going to need capital funds for seawalls and for dredging and for all of that. So we should be aiming to generate some level of free cash for that purpose. Second acceptable use would be funding reserves, and reserves help a town in terms of flexibility. It allows you to, like in cases of emergency, you have a little bit, it's not a crisis. You're not scrambling trying to find a funding source. And then the third acceptable use would be emergency or extraordinary spending. And there will be times when, we needed $1 million this year for snow and ice, Otherwise, if you didn't have that free cash available, what ends up happening is DOR does allow you to amortize it, but now you've got to come up with that appropriation in your budget. You're shrinking you're making it more difficult to balance the budget. So having that flexibility in terms of free cash is really helpful. There's also going to be certain kinds of expenses that are neither capital nor emergency, and it's just something that occurs that you need to cover. An example would be the unemployment bill, right? So having the free cash available for that purpose, one time, and obviously with the idea that we need to address why that unemployment bill wasn't there, but if the free cash was there to cover it. So I did an analysis of FY26 free cash, just now that the fiscal year is over, and so FY26 free cash certification was $6,404,954. We ended with a free cash balance of $487,304, so we used just shy of $6 million over the fiscal year. And of that amount, 40.38% was used towards operating costs, which was why we were building those costs into the budget, because that's quite high, when really you should be more like 0. 22.
What's that number again?
Zero.
Zero. Wanted to make sure we all heard that. Zero.
Yeah. And then 22.74% was used towards capital, and this year's capital plan was light because there was the idea being that we didn't want to add more debt service. So that, again, is another reason why you do want to generate some level of free cash, because we would like to be able to fund more than that amount for capital. And then 29.27% was used towards extraordinary or emergency expenditures, and 0% was used towards reserves. So.
So when you say reserves, that's like I've been talking about, it's like we got accounts to go towards certain things, so we could start funneling money into those accounts, so something comes up, we have money on hand.
Yep.
To address it. We don't have to worry about going into
You're not borrowing.
You're borrowing or our April budget meeting and all that. We already have that money on hand to hopefully take care of it. If not, at least it'll be minimized, I guess, if there was a time that we needed to take care of it.
Well, if you're carrying reserves, if there's a year where free cash isn't so high, but something happens in that particular year, you have that reserve available, or you're not going and you're borrowing. So, yeah. And I was just looking back a couple of years. There was part of what was certified for free cash last year was $757,000, and that was for a storm. It was for seawalls expenses. And what ended up happening is, for that storm, it looks like it was reclassed to a capital project and then borrowed. So that's, the hand was forced there because it wasn't declared as an emergency, and the town had to do something to clear that deficit. But if you had a reserve available, like it could be a storm reserve or a coastal storm reserve, you would have that flexibility.
You could also create a reserve, Mr. Moran, if I'm not incorrect, to foresee and plan for and offset expectations for something like a South Shore vocational tech.
Yeah, you could if you were, you could use capital stabilization money, if you set up a capital stabilization with guidelines that it could be used to smooth debt that has been issued for capital purposes, or just to pay principal and interest on capital expenditures, that would work. It's perfectly appropriate, and it's done in other towns.
Thank you.
Another reserve too would be for the SPED reserve, because we created it, but we didn't,
For the what?
special ed.
Oh, special education,
Sorry.
sure. Yeah.
Because we've created it, but did not fund it. And that is a big one for the school department, because one student could be a big swing, so they never know necessarily how many students are going to be added. And so again, that would be a good place to have reserve funds.
Yeah, that account was created last year. For some reason, the state law would ever incorporate the select board into it. I don't even know why. I mean, so if we ever fund that, it's got to get a vote between the school committee and the select board to use.
Any questions or comments? No? Well, thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, I just had a question.
go
Sorry
ahead, Mr.
about
Kelly.
what you were asking,
Yep,
Chris.
go ahead.
On the cherry sheets, with that money and all that, and I think there's supposed to be potentially more money coming our way. I mean, how's that? That's the one thing that people are asking in regards to the whole override questions, that we're getting this extra money from the state through the cherry sheets, and then there's supposed to be more money coming from the state. I mean, do you see any big difference in regards to extra money coming in between the town and what the schools may be getting that would have an impact on the actual number of what the override should be?
So we did lock in the revenue forecast at the governor's proposal, just because it goes through different stages during the budget process, and you wouldn't want to increase budgets and then find out that your state aid is not going to be at that higher level. So we are going to get additional state aid, and so what that does is it'll alleviate some of the pressure on the levy capacity.
Yes, we just don't know what that is at the moment, right?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, all right.
It's several $100,000. It's not, it's not in the millions.
Not
It's
earth-shattering.
several $100,000. It's not going to hurt us by any means. It's better than the Governor House 1 numbers, but it's several $100,000. There is also some money that for storm relief that's coming in that we didn't anticipate. That's in a couple of $100,000 too.
Yeah, but are we putting that storm relief money back into the snow budget? Because I think we
I
only
think
budgeted
that's
like
what it would-
150, right, for the budget? So now we're
Yeah,
going to get that
well,
money.
it would make sense to put it aside for the next storm.
Yeah, 'cause it's-
Yeah,
Well,
I
'cause
think we
I-
only budgeted $150
No, we,
this fiscal
I-
year.
I think
yeah,
you
we
could-
did a little bit more than that, but
That's reoccurred. I mean, that's reoccurred many
Right.
years that I've been around. I mean,
Right.
we always blow the snow budget.
yeah, we always underfund it, but we always have to fund it at the previous year's level at least.
There's a couple years that maybe, but
Yeah, but that's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's all for me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lemay.
Can I just ask a point of information? When and if the money comes in from the state, where do I look for it on the town website? People have asked me that 100 times.
Where you can get it from is from mass.gov. I'll give you the link to the budget that will show the appropriation of local aid and how it's broken down. If you just send me an email, I'll shoot it back to you.
Okay, and then the other part of that, just to follow up on that, once we get it, with the problems that we've had in the past, we no longer now have, who's responsible for that money while we're waiting for the Director of Finance to show up?
Town
Don't
administrator.
tell me it's Peter Moran.
No, it's not me anymore.
He's
Town,
tougher than
the
that.
town administrator and the
Okay,
select board.
That's the answer.
Right.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to discussion, or item number 12, which is a discussion and vote to approve the details and other matters relating to the issuance of the town's $5,701,268 general obligation bond anticipation notes to be dated August 14th, 2026. Now, I remember when I got to do this, I learned what it was like to be the Micro Machine Man.
Yeah.
Remember how fast I read that? I was like,
You were good.
You signed up for it.
I did.
You almost tabled it.
But I think Mr. Rowland has signed up for reading it now,
I
so.
think he's got the skill set.
All
It's
right,
not my first rodeo.
Mr. Rowland, please do.
Vote of the Select Board. I, the clerk of the Select Board of the Town of Marshfield, Massachusetts, certify that at a meeting of the board held July 27th, 2026, at which meeting all members of the board were duly notified and at which a quorum was present, the following votes were unanimously passed, all of which appear upon the official record of the board in my custody. Voted, we hereby determine in accordance with General Law Section 70B that the cost of the Martinson Elementary School roof project authorized by vote of town passed on October 20th, 2025, Article 7, being financed and refinanced with proceeds of a portion of the notes defined below, together with all other bonds and notes of the town previously issued to pay cost on this project, does not exceed the portion of the total cost of the project that is not being paid by the school facilities grant, and we hereby approve the issuance of notes and bonds to finance the project under General Law Section 70B. Further voted, to approve the sale of $5,701,268, 4% general obligation bond anticipation notes, the notes of the town dated August 14th, 2026, and payable August 13th, 2027 to Oppenheimer and Company Inc. at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $53,591.92. Further voted that in connection with the marketing and sale of the notes, the preparation and distribution of a notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated July 14th, 2026, as revised, and a final official statement dated July 21, 2026, each in such form as may be approved by the town treasurer, be and hereby are ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted. Further voted that the town treasurer and the select board be and hereby are authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaking in compliance with SEC Rule 15, Section 2-12 in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, which undertaking shall be incorporated by reference to the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time. Further voted that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to establish post-issuance federal tax compliance procedures and continuing disclosure procedures in such forms as the town treasurer and bond counsel deem sufficient, or if such procedures are currently in place, to review and update said procedures in order to monitor and maintain the tax-exempt status of the notes and to comply with relevant securities laws. Further voted that any certificates or documents relating to the notes, collectively the documents, may be executed in several counterparts, each of which shall be regarded as an original and all of which shall constitute one and the same document. Delivery of an executed counterpart of a signature page to a document by electronic mail in a PDF file or by electronic transmission shall be as effective as delivery of the manually executed counterpart signature page to such document, and electronic signatures on any of the documents shall be deemed original signatures for the purpose of the documents and all matters relating thereto having the same legal effect as original signatures. Further voted that each member of the select board, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes. I further certify that the agenda for the meeting, a copy of which is attached hereto, was posted on the bulletin board of the town at least 24 hours before the meeting and in compliance with Section -2 of the town charter. I further certify that the votes were taken as a meeting open to the public, that no vote was taken by secret ballot, that a notice stating the place, date, time, and agenda for the meeting, which agenda included the adoption of the above votes, was filed with the town clerk, and a copy thereof posted in a manner conspicuously visible to the public at all hours in or on the municipal building that the office of the town clerk is located, or, if applicable, in accordance with an alternative method of notice prescribed or approved by the Attorney General as set forth in 940 CMR 29.03 2B at least 48 hours, not including Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, prior to the time of the meeting and remained so post at the time of the meeting that no deliberations or decisions in connection with the sale of the notes were taken in executive sessions, all in accordance with General Law, Section 30A, Sections 18 through 25, as amended. Chris Rowland, Clerk of the Select, dated July 27, 2026. Chris Rowland, Clerk of the Select Board.
Mr. Rowland, I just want to note that there was the third line on the top of the second page that you missed, so if you could please reread it.
Oh,
again. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Remainder of page.
It's a joke. You did it. You did fine.
Perfect.
I didn't read the remainder page, intentionally left blank.
You did. No, you did fine. Sorry.
All right.
Just joking. Okay.
Thanks, man. You always get hazed your first day.
All right. Any discussion or questions? I'm sorry?
Need a second.
Well, oh, because he made a motion.
Yes.
Ah, yes. I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0.
Great job, Melissa.
Yeah. I do have in triplicate about a dozen forms that I would like if, after the
You
meeting,
want us to sign them
could all
now?
sign.
We have to sign them right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
The meeting.
Yeah, let's sign them
Yeah.
afterwards.
That's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
Can we take a 10-minute break?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that the Select Board takes a 10-minute break beginning now at 8:01 p.m. and return to session, open session in about 10 minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, the time is 8:14 PM. I'd like to make a motion to reconvene our open session of tonight's Select Board meeting. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next item up is discussion and vote on a temporary event application for Headstrong 5K, which was continued from the July 13th meeting. Give me just a second. The town has received a well, first of all, I want to, before going on with this, if everybody recalls, last time that we got together and we talked about this one, well, I think it was really just Eric.
Yeah,
Hopefully you watched. Maybe you saw it. Maybe
I don't know
you
if I watched. I don't remember this.
It was fascinating. Anyways, we talked about the need to put together some sort of a form so we could get some we get some discipline around the information being requested. I wanted to call out Chelsea DaCosta from our office for fantastic job. Thank you for getting that together, and thank you for working with the event organizers to get this squared away. So thank you. We received a request for an event permit on July 20th, 2026 from Alyssa. Is it how do you pronounce the last name?
Nigro?
It's Niagara.
Niagara, okay. For an event to take place on October 3rd, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is the name of the event will be Headstrong. It would be located at Marshfield High School. This is to be an annual community fundraiser to raise awareness for brain aneurysms. It is both for runners and walkers. This is expecting around 200 people in total, to include staff and volunteers. There will be some music from a small speaker, but nothing live. And for about the 3 hours of the event time, which again is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The requester was asked about what efforts the applicant and business has taken to reduce the impact from entertainment on neighboring residents and businesses. And they've replied that the efforts will be made to minimize impact on residents by maintaining reasonable noise levels, following town guidelines, coordinating with public safety, and encouraging respectful behavior by those in attendance. There will be no food served. There will be no tent. They did provide a map of the route, which begins at Marshfield High School, goes north on Forest Street, circles around. I'm trying to see that. What's that lane there, Chelsea?
So if you keep going a couple more pages, it's the same exact route as the Molly Walk route.
Yeah.
I included the last week's paperwork and so under.
Tilden at Forest.
Yeah, I'm just trying to read the name, the lane on the map. That's all. Because it circles around into a neighborhood, not fully into a neighborhood, and then drops onto Quail Run and then goes back.
And it goes back down. Yeah.
Yep.
It's exactly the same as the Molly Walk
Okay.
was.
All right. We have received this information. Have we received any notes on traffic plans or anything, or they're just saying that they're going to work through Marshfield Police Department?
Yeah, they're just going to work with the police that are involved and they're communicated together.
Okay. And it's been recommended, have we passed on the recommendation to them from the Marshfield Fire Department recommending an EMS detail with one person in a vehicle?
I believe so.
Perfect. Thank you. And we did also receive comments from the Marshfield Police Department. There was a different route that was initially looked at, but they reverted to the Molly Walk route as a way of addressing the police department's concern about something with less congestion in terms of traffic and parking, et cetera. That was the comment from the Marshfield Police Department, and the requesters have made that change, so it does align with that already existing. Although I think this was the last year that they just did that, the Molly Walk.
It is, it was last
Yeah,
year.
okay. But using that same plan. So we have the request. We have a check yet? We need to get a check
We may need to get a check.
for $25. Okay, big $25. A certificate of insurance. We'll need to get that as well,
Yes.
right? Okay. All right, great. All right, so I don't have any opposition moving forward to it at this time. Obviously contingent upon receipt of certificate of insurance as proof of $1 million general liability insurance, a check, and compliance with public safety requirements. Mr. Kelly, questions, comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's one thing I keep forgetting about to ask in regards to these events. Peter, do they generally pay for like all the details and all the extra DPW? It's like the town's not paying for any of that, are they?
So generally, they would pay for the details, as far as I know.
So,
I don't know about DPW. That varies from town to town. Norwell, we made them pay. In Braintree, we don't. So I would have to check with DPW on that.
yeah, I mean, I don't mind the events, but
Yeah.
we can't, at least in my opinion, we can't be paying
Yeah, you're not,
for the operation of this in regards to what they need from the town and all that and everything. So I don't know if that's something that,
I believe the Department of Public Works gets paid directly for any work that's
yeah,
required.
I'll confirm that, but
The event organizers have to. Do we have anybody from DPW watching or listening?
Diane Jordan was on,
Diane
that's here. What do the DPW provide? I don't,
it could be barriers, it
Yeah.
could be signage, it could be,
I usually see police barrier, I don't know what you see.
Miss Jordan, I see a member from, oh, there she is, and she just went off mute. Can you confirm that DPW does receive funds directly from event organizers? We can't hear you if you're speaking.
They may have,
I think she's mute. I think she's muted on it. She might not even be on
she
it.
came off mute, but I don't.
came off mute.
Oh, she did?
All right, so go on mute twice for
All right,
yes
she
and
she
on
comes back
mute
on.
once for no. I'm just kidding.
So, in regards to the route, was it said that it's the same route as the Molly Walk?
Correct. That's right. Yep.
So, have you done the Molly Walk before?
I have, many times.
So how do they set that up on the roadway? Do you know, Chris, in regards
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I don't know, these pylons along it, or?
No, so they start in the high school, like, the back parking lot of the high school near the ball fields. So they start there, and then they have a line there, and then they go, and they walk out past the middle school, and then up Forest, and they just have the police kind of guide it and make sure that any traffic, they keep them to one side so people can get around them on cars, and that's really how they do it. I think they put some cones at the different turns, but it's one big flow, and then the police follow they lead them out and they bring them back around.
So it's like they close down like one part of the road?
Yeah, like one side, and that
Okay.
way people can go. Then the police will, if they see a car coming, it's usually early on a Saturday, so it's not crazy. And I think that's why the police wanted them. I mean, now I'm hearing that they moved their route. I'm assuming, this is an assumption, that that's why the police wanted them, because they have it really down, because the Malawak did it for like 13 years there, and they have that flow down, and it's about the same thing, and that's the way they know how to do it.
Yeah, as I'm looking at it,
It's low traffic.
9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and it's in October, so I gotta imagine there's gonna be sporting events potentially going on at the school.
That does happen.
So-
Yeah. But they do the walk early enough, and then the after thing is just in the parking lot. It really doesn't disrupt the traffic, but that's usually the way it's done.
So I think they-
Molly Walk is usually a little earlier than that.
Yeah. So I think they have, what, three?
Oh, there's Diane.
I'm here when you want to hear from me. I don't know if you can hear me now.
Loud and clear. We got the volume
Great.
turned.
Diane Jordan, Board of Public Works. Thanks. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, DPW gets paid, so it depends on what they're doing. Like the traffic setup, that goes into overtime because it's on a weekend typically. But like with Levitate, they paid the workers, they paid directly, I think. So there's different ways that they get paid, but the department gets paid. And we also did set up an account where we can bill events, but usually it ends up going through accounting. So Meg probably knows too how that happens, like from an accounting perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, but the department does get paid. They're not doing it for free.
Yeah, I know. I just want I just want to make sure the town's not paying for it. That's my look at it, Diane. Is that
No, the event organizers are paying. It's just it's by different mechanisms, but they are paying. Yes,
okay? I
it's
appreciate.
not coming out of the town budget.
I appreciate that, Diane.
Okay, sure. Thanks. Great meeting, by the way. Very entertaining.
Well, thank you,
Love the
Diane.
dynamic between the three of you. Enjoying it.
Entertaining.
Yes, entertaining, informative, good ideas. I'm enjoying it. I appreciate it very much.
Should have brought snacks.
So
Well, I'm home, so it's
potty
Party.
favors.
Yeah. Where's the
Thank you.
balloons? We need balloons.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan.
I mean, everything else looks good. I'm good with it.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Rowland?
I'm all set.
Okay.
I'm good.
I move that the board vote to approve the temporary event application for Headstrong 5K to be held October 3rd, 2026, between the hours of 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., subject to the event organizers providing this office with general liability insurance certificate as required, for paying for the permit fee as required, and for working with public safety in all other or all agencies within our town to ensure a safe event. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Item number 14 is discussion and vote on the announcement of opening and closing of the special town meeting warrant for publication in newspaper, website, and posting by the town clerk. So, do we have a date already set for fall town meeting?
I believe we do. I
What-
think I have it on my budget schedule in the office. That's
Can we-
not helpful here, but,
Generally, have a form that goes that we should have in here that
because that's all,
can
like, these
review
dates are
and
set
read
by
off.
charter.
Why are you asking that?
What's that?
Why are you asking that?
Because that's what this is for,
Oh,
right?
correct.
This is for town meeting. So my question is, when is town meeting?
Let me pull it.
Oh, right.
want to table this till next week.
I'm sure I sent
Yeah, I would table it until next week so that you guys have enough time to put it together.
Get the date, the proper form written out so we can have it in our binder and vote on it.
Yeah, that
Be
probably
ready to do
makes
it.
sense.
I should have gotten ahead on this and put it together for you. So
It's okay.
I'll put it together for you next week.
This won't, the delaying a week isn't going to have any impact. Okay, good. Excellent. All right. So if we could table this till next week, continue it on the 3rd. Agenda item number 15, discussion and vote on the annual Pumpkin Run Race 5K. I haven't done that one. Do you have to carry a pumpkin while you're on the run?
That would make it interesting.
Chelsea, did we get a new event application from the submitter for this?
So I did send them in the updated form, and they have not gotten it back to me, but it was already on the agenda, so I left it in there. For what
Okay.
it's worth.
It looks like some of the information that we would need, and that would be on the form. Oh, no. I'll tell you what, is there any danger in waiting to do this next Monday, Chelsea? Yeah, you've talked to the event organizers?
I would just look at the date of the event, and if it's far enough away, wouldn't
Yeah,
be worried.
it's in October.
I think
And
you're
yeah,
all right.
no risk, no
Permits,
risk at all.
pumpkins are still growing right now, so
Yeah, certainly.
October.
Don't worry, they'll be at the grocery store
They'll
next
be,
week.
of course they will.
And all the spice things, too.
Yeah, pumpkin spices next week.
You're going to take a perfectly good evening and ruin it, aren't you? Pumpkin spice. In 2 weeks, we'll be looking at stockings. Okay, so we'll table that item as well. If we could just get them to fill out that form for process here. All right, item number 16, discussion and vote on permanent placement of a peddler mobile cart from William Nash.
Yeah, Chelsea brought us that extra.
So we received I think it was an email request, or was this a written letter?
I think it was just.
I'm William Nash.
Oh, Mr. Nash. All right, he's here.
Man.
I submitted a letter, yeah.
All right, well, you know what? I'll let you go ahead and present as opposed to reading your.
Yeah, so I'm a resident here in town, close to the Fieldston area, and I'm just trying to get, it's just a side venture that I'm doing, and I've been doing a little bit. I've done, I just did at Governor Winslow School, I did the Bash at the Beach, not this past weekend, the weekend before, softball tournament. And it's just, the dimensions of the cart are really small. I think the issue that I had with the beach commissioner was she was thinking I was parking an actual truck and trailer. And that would obviously block the entrance, and that's not the case. It would be dropped off. It's a mobile cart. I wheel it down to the location, to the entrance, and it's about 5 feet long. It's 27 inches from front when I'm standing on one side to the other side, and then it's a little over 3 feet tall. And I'm just trying to get permission to be at that spot.
So this is it would be as you put in your email here, the area of the seawall entrance on Old Beach Street in Fieldston. Yep.
Correct, yep.
Be dropping off your cart, friend's residence, pushing the cart to the side of the ramp entrance to the beach. And it will only be at the beach on days when the tide is low. Are there other carts in the area already?
There aren't, no.
Okay, and this is...
The concern I have too, honestly, is as just somebody in the town, it's something I see, anybody that needs to go and buy something, they're crossing 139, and that's a dangerous turn right there, right in front of, what's the restaurant called?
Oh, Duke's.
Duke's Beach
Yeah.
House. So you got that corner, cars are coming around, you've got young teens and kids running across the street, and the cart does well, it provides a cold treat for the kids, for anybody that wants it. Sometimes I sell other snacks, such as candies and different things like that, but, yep, just seeking permission to be in that spot.
Do you have an extra map? I see Mr. Rowland here has left the rest of us
I'm
out.
very
We don't have maps, but he has a
He
map.
does. I think Chelsea brought you a map.
You got a map? I don't have a map?
You do have.
You do. It's
Where is
like-
it?
You were gone when she brought them. You probably
I
stuffed it
gave
in here
everyone.
somewhere.
How do you like that, huh?
Yeah.
I already know who her favorites are.
There you go.
All right. Oh, Peter's got all the maps.
No, I just,
I know that area
it's-
very well, per se, so I just want.
So it's right here where it'd be positioned?
Yeah, so
Correct,
this is
yeah.
parking right here.
Yep.
Right? And there's
Yep.
only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. This is a winter photo, I believe, because in the winter they block this entry because of the storms. Right?
Yeah, the Jersey barriers go across, yeah.
So you can see how it's gray. So if you look at this is gone. So I you could even be over here in this little crisscross.
Yeah, there's a couple of possibilities for locations.
So you'd be
It's-
out of traffic and harm's way there.
Yeah,
If you put it in that area, a lot of people come and park their cars and then leave.
They go in like this, see right here, and
Yeah.
they pull in. But there's like over here or even down here, he could probably
Yeah, closer to the beach, there's a pretty
Right.
good area that's,
Like right there.
Yeah.
When
There's
there's
plenty of-
barrier's gone, there's room there.
right. And the Jersey barriers are off to the side so people can put their bicycles in there, so
Right.
they're out of the way, yeah.
And then, like, the reason you're saying low tide, not to speak for you, but high tide, it's very.
Correct.
Very little beach there. And so normally people aren't down there as much. But with the tides, I mean, it's a long time. I mean, it's a 12-hour window-ish. So I see what you're trying to do there.
They have there's a food truck at the entrance of Burke's Beach.
Correct.
And I know they have the snack shack there at the Wrexham parking lot. But I just think it's an area it's well populated during the beach season. So I just think that it'd be a great spot to have something like that.
Would you provide trash removal for any trash that, if somebody's using one of your products that you're selling?
There is a barrel there,
That's a town barrel?
town barrel. Yep.
Same thing at Green Harbor. They provide all the trash.
Yeah.
And recycle, and then.
However, I take the plastic buckets away with me. Yeah, I recycle those.
Yeah, so it's not that much different.
So we did receive some notes from Cindy Castro. She had noted there's no beach, obviously, from an hour before to an hour after high tide. I think you've addressed that, that this would only be
Yeah.
low tide.
There'd make no sense for me to be down there because it just literally comes up to the wall. So there's no spot for anybody to be on the beach.
She also noted the limitation on parking and space beyond it, and asking if there would be enough room as cars are trying to back out to
Correct.
exit.
Yeah.
But you've,
I think there is, personally, I think there's, as he noted earlier about the space beyond that, there's a couple of little areas where the cart would fit just fine, would be out of the way of cars trying to back
closer
up.
to the beach you're talking about, right?
Like right here.
What's that? Sir?
Closer to the beach you're talking about.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, as I'm looking at it, I'm like, so you do the closer to the beach,
right.
then you might want to do a sample run like
Even farther.
where the marked lines headed into the street. You might pick up business off the street
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
People driving by.
I didn't know if there was a possibility to be up further, like closer to 139, out of harm's way of the cars.
would you be opposed to providing your own trash container?
Not at all.
Just because obviously, if you're selling your product that produces trash.
Yep.
It's putting obviously creating an impact on the town.
For me to bring a barrel just with a bag in it and extra bags and take that stuff away would be no problem at all.
Okay.
The only thing I don't see in this, Rick, is a form.
Don't have a
It
form.
needs a common vic, right?
Yeah.
What form?
Needs a common
that?
vic.
He needs a common vic. Does he not already have the common vic?
I have that.
Oh, do you have
I
it?
have all of that, yeah.
Oh, you already do?
He's looking for the spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got everything if you need to see anything, but
Mind if we see it just real quick?
sure,
Just,
absolutely.
trust but verify, you know how it works, right?
I've got everything minimized and laminated and all on my cart.
You got a microfiche? I can look at it. Even do microfiche anymore, Peter? No.
No, you scan.
Just your application.
We
common
scan,
vic
we
app.
scan and put on.
I don't have the application. You're looking for that, right?
Yep. Yeah, we already signed it. and everything. Actually, what's the date on that one?
December 16th, 2025.
So it expires.
So is that expired, right?
No.
No, not in December.
No, it expires on December 31st, 2026.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. He's good then, yeah.
Here's-
Sell them in the winter.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, the one thing I just wanted to bring up was I spoke to Andrew Stewart, our building commissioner, earlier, and he wanted me to point out the word permanent, how that it usually goes for anything over 180 days. So he was concerned with that verbiage. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that anything under 180 days would be temporary placement.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not real property. I mean, he can move it, so it's not
It's not a
built.
fixture.
Right.
But he is basically being given permission for use, which, you know, it's not a lease, but it's permission for use.
But I mean, I would assume
Yeah,
that's pretty
it's-
much what we have
it's
at
not-
Green Harbor too, right? I
Right.
mean, it's exactly the same, it seems like.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that forever, and they have no issues whatsoever there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they just can't leave the stuff there 24/7.
Right.
correct, they
Right.
take it
Can't
away.
park
Right,
overnight.
That's
Right.
right, yeah.
Maybe we should have this stipulations in there just to have in there, I guess.
According to my father, that's what he thinks I should do.
24/7.
Leave it there. I'm like,
Yeah, good luck.
come on, Dad.
I wouldn't leave it down there.
Actually, what would we be selling out of your cart?
What am I selling?
Yeah, what would?
It's slush. It's Richie's slush.
Or just slush?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yep, it's an actual Richie's slush cart with the umbrella, and it's just got the top doors that you reach down.
Yeah, the refrigerated.
Yeah, exactly. Insulated. Yeah.
Yes. Insulated.
How many days are left in the year?
How
Well,
many days are left in this
yeah,
year?
but he won't be out there in the winter.
No, I know, but I'm trying to.
Oh, I didn't know what you
Trying
were
to
talking about.
honor the.
It's less than 180 days, Mr. Chairman.
$157, right in under the wire. Okay. All right, and I mean, in terms of the select board stipulating what hours, I mean, it depends upon high tide. I don't know that we need to
Yeah.
stipulate that, because if high tide comes, it's going to take away your cart. And
I'm sorry?
you know, I'm saying if you were to leave it out there at high tide, the
Oh,
tide
yeah,
could
yeah.
take away your cart, and
Probably.
then a whole lot of people get a whole lot of free slush.
Yeah.
Or the crabs, anyways. Okay.
I don't think it's stipulate. I don't think any of them stipulate hours. Any of them stipulate hours on them? No, I don't think we have to worry about that.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with that. It's based upon our discussion here.
If you can operate out there the whole day, operate the whole day. And like I said, I think it's just, you just can't leave everything there overnight. Everything has to come with them.
That actually was a question I had, if I could only be there for so many hours or till a certain.
I mean, for me, I don't have a problem if you're there
I'd just
most of
say
the day or
d-
whatever.
Yeah.
I'd just say dusk. Yeah,
Yeah,
at dusk.
dawn or dusk.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I can't speak
I'll
for the other two.
want to go home at some time.
Well, hey, if you're making money,
Well, that's true.
Give me just 1 second here. Is there any insurance that's required? Any proof of insurance or anything like that? We don't have our standard.
No,
They would have provided that with the common victular licensing at the beginning of the year.
You're right. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Any other question? Nope. All right.
good.
I move that the board vote to approve the placement of a peddler's mobile cart by William Nash,
Bill, it's fine.
Bill.
Yeah, thank you.
Bill Nash, at the seawall entrance on Old Beach Street for the balance of 2026, between dawn and dusk, subject to the peddler's property being removed by dusk every evening. Do I have a second?
Oh, and a trash barrel.
And that the peddler will provide a trash barrel for removal of trash by its customers. Do I have a second?
second.
Any further discussion from the board?
None.
Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0.
Thank
See you for a slushie.
Thank
luck.
you, Mr.
Seriously.
Nash.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
very much. Appreciate it.
Next item on the agenda is a discussion and vote on a common victualler license application for Hanoi Tutti Food. We received a common victualler license application for Hanoi Tutti Food. Hopefully I'm not butchering that name, for Marsh Vegas Fest that is happening on August 8th, 2026. They have paid their $10 license fee. They've provided a copy of their insurance. And this would just be subject to approval by the Board of Health, I believe. Right, Chelsea? Okay. All right. Any questions?
Nope.
Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, I just want to make a statement.
Sure.
I think we need to visit pricing on the common victual license in regards to probably increasing that at a future date.
Yeah, I agree. Can you make a note, Chelsea, not next meeting, the 3rd, but perhaps the meeting on the 17th, that we can take up the question of what license application fees within the town should be reviewed and reconsidered. Not that we necessarily take a vote on it, but actually take it up as a discussion point, because Mr. Kelly and I have talked about that numerous times. I'm sure Mr. Rowland would be interested in the discussion as well.
Absolutely.
And it'd be good to have a little discussion on that, because it's not just this, but it's many other
You
ones.
should always review it in comparison it against other towns.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't want to be competitive, you know. We want to be fair,
I
but
do
competitive.
believe that Ashley, my predecessor, had done some of that, and I have a few forms in my office that she had actually collected some data, so I'll send that over to you guys tomorrow.
Right, great. All right, well, let's aim to get that onto the agenda for the 17th.
Maybe I'll have a town email by tomorrow.
What's that?
I should have a town email by tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, any other discussions, comments? All right. I'd like to move that the board vote to approve the common victual license to Hanoi Tutti Food for Marsh Vegas Fest held on August 8th, 2026, subject to approval by the Board of Health. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 I got one comment to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
In regards to the Marsh Vegas Fest, do we have to state the location of where Marsh Vegas Fest is going to be held at?
It's at the Marshfield.
The fairgrounds.
I can include that in the, that's fine.
It doesn't say it on the form, that's all I was asking.
Oh, right.
No, that's fair. All right, I move that the board vote to approve the common victual license to Hanoi Tutti Food for Marsh Vegas Fest on August 8th, 2026, being held at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, subject to approval by the Board of Health. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board?
None.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Moving on to item number 18. Discussion and vote on a temporary liquor license application for the North River Arts Society. The Select Board received a temporary liquor license application from Michael DePaola for a temporary liquor license application for an event to be held on September 5th, 2026, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 157 Old Main Street for a closing party for Outside the Box fundraiser auction. This is a license for all alcoholic beverages. They have provided a copy of their liquor liability insurance. They've provided copy of tips certifications for their servers. I thought I saw them earlier. They are in here.
They're there.
Yep.
Okay.
it's there.
They've provided written narrative of the event. The event will be held indoors. And this party is held to close out our silent auction Outside the Box after a month of ongoing bidding. On September 5th, they're going to announce winners and have them come by the GAR Hall for pickup. They'll have a bar for guests and provide light snacks. Guests will just stop in to finally see the artist names and leave with their new artwork, and they'll have a police detail, and if necessary, extra parking will be available at Friendship Hall down the street. Party begins at 6 p.m. and everything will be closed down by 8 p.m. I don't see any issues or questions from my end, Mr. Kelly.
No, everything looks good to me.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Rowland.
I'm all set.
Okay, I move that the board vote to approve the issuance of a temporary one-day all-alcoholic beverage liquor license to North River Art Society on the property at 157 Old Main Street, Marshfield, for September 5th, 2026, between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second?
Any further discussion from the board?
None?
No.
Seeing none, we'll go to a majority vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. All right, moving on to item number 19. This is a discussion and acceptance of a donation of $50 to Marshfield Animal Control. I received an email from Officer Alexandra Forbes from Marshfield Animal Control. It said, Select Board's office, this letter serves as an official request to accept the donation and the check amount of $50 by Betty Bauman. These funds will directly be deposited into our department's donation account and will go directly towards the care of the animals housed at the Marshfield Animal Shelter cared for by Marshfield Animal Control officers. I don't have any questions other than, of course, just a brief statement to thank Betty Bauman for this contribution to the Marshfield Animal Shelter and the work that they do. So thank you very much, Mr. Kelly.
I will concur with those thoughts of yours.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Rowland.
Agreed. I'm good.
Okay. I move that the board vote to accept with gratitude the donation of the sum of $50 to Marshfield Animal Control from Betty Bauman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board?
None.
Seeing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Last item on the agenda for tonight is a discussion and vote on 2 common victualler license applications for Lobster Love.
Great truck.
Yeah.
It really is.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, so we received a common victualler license application for 2 different events from Lobster Love. The name of the applicant is Stephen Coe, Plymouth, Mass. The name of the business is Lobster Love, and the first event that they've looked for approval on is for the Marsh Vegas. A second. That doesn't look right. Why does it say Marsh? It says Marsh Vegas, but it says the dates are from the 16th to the 25th. Do they mean the fair?
So that form, the forms are fun. That form is a Marshfield Fairgrounds form, and the previous admins had put the dates in it. So when they filled out, they're a little bit different than our standard common victualler because they're more temporary. So I think that form just had previous information. I think the information it has is for the actual Marshfield Fair, not the Marsh Vegas Fest, so I tried to cross it out.
So it is for Marsh Vegas Fest on August 18th at the Marshfield Fairgrounds.
August 8th.
August 8th.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm keep
But yeah,
passing.
no,
up
don't apologize. It's not
information.
there, so I just happen to remember.
Marsh Vegas, Marsh Vegas Fest.
Are we sure about that? I mean, they got the whole, when's the fair? Is it the 16th through the 25th?
Yeah, but she's saying that it was already pre-printed on the form when they got it and they didn't pick it up.
No, because that's an old form. It has the 2024 date on there.
Oh, you're saying
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
right,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, he must have
Good
got
catch.
that form.
Talk about going in arrears, huh?
Yeah, I know.
2 years ago,
He just
you
grabbed it.
approved just now.
Well, I mean, as we're talking about this, I mean, do we get rid of this Marshall Fair form and then just go with the common victual license, but then we just got to add location to it where the event's going to be?
Well, I think this is the regular, it is a Marsh. Why is it, we have a form specific to the Marshfield Fair?
Yeah, we do.
I was thinking about that, but because that form isn't, it seems more exclusive to specifically the Marshfield Fair, whereas I think it would be more appropriate if it was a Marshfield Fair grounds, because we get Levitate, Lobster Fest, Marsh Vegas Fest, all of these
Rib
events
Fest, all of it.
are for.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fairgrounds?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would work, yeah.
And they can just input their own dates. We wouldn't pre-fill that in for them.
Right.
That would work.
Maybe, but like when we say the Marshall Fairgrounds, maybe like put down underneath location and then it'll already be pre-printed Marshall Fairgrounds, that way it shows up.
Yeah.
Instead of being blended in at the top with the common victual license.
Makes sense.
Okay. All right, so we received this application for the Marsh Vegas Fest and Marshfield Fairgrounds on August 8th, as well as the very same application, but for an event on September 19th, 2026, called Lobster Love.
Oh, it's Lobster
The
Fest.
Lobster Fest.
Lobster Fest.
Yeah, the chamber does Lobster Fest.
They
That's what
wobster
it's-
Lobster Love.
I don't know, he's a
He
chef.
just
He-
loves
Lobster Love
lobster.
at Lobster Love.
Chef Coe's a chef.
All right.
Well, the name,
Focused on the
name
food.
of the business is Lobster Love, right?
Right,
Yes,
but
yeah,
it's for
yeah,
Lobster
exactly.
Fest.
And Lobster Fest is being held on September 19th. Okay.
Right.
Okay, now that we got that sorted out. Oh, and in the motion, that's clarified. Okay, good. August 8th. I move that the board vote to approve 2 common victualler licenses to Lobster Love, one for Marsh Vegas Fest on August 8th, 2026, and one for Lobster Fest on September 19th, 2026, to be used at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, subject to approvals by the Board of Health. I have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion from the board?
None.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. We'll move on to vote to accept meeting minutes. We have a lot of meeting minutes. Whew, goes back a ways. All right, so we have meeting minutes here from May 11th, May 20th, May 28th, and June 1st. I've looked through these. I don't have any further input on them. I know you had been looking at them and had made a couple of tweaks and improvements and whatnot with Chelsea. Do you any?
Yeah, I mean, on the May 11th one, it was, when I went through, I think Chelsea's updated one, I was looking for her to put on number 5, the communication between Sullivan and I in regards to our little conversation, but you know something, I'm not gonna, I won't worry about that, but the one I did want to have added in, and you know something, I don't even know if I looked at this one, I might have missed, yeah, oh yeah, because you know something's not tabbed, so I might have overlooked it. So Chelsea, do you know if you added in that? If you didn't, not worried about. The number 6 was the request to waive Boys and Girls Club department fees. I just marked down that I wanted
You wanted me to include the
it was initially a $20,000 fee they thought it was going to be, but I think it turned out what Andrew said, 40,000.
Mhm.
And then I just wanted to highlight that you wanted to give them a 25% discount.
I added that.
Did you have that in there?
Yep, I added it.
Okay.
And I emailed those updates over to you guys.
Yeah, no, I think this one didn't have your little special tab, so I think I
Yeah.
overlooked it when I was going through it. And then the May 19th one, when I was going through it, there was in regards to our going into the executive session, when I asked Bob about the legality of Mass General laws not being posted on the executive session, I just wanted to add in that what Bob's comments were, which I think he said it didn't need it. I didn't see it in the updated ones in regards to it. So I'm not ready to approve that just yet, 'cause I didn't see it in Chelsea's updated ones.
519 ones?
Yes.
We don't have 519 meeting minutes noted on the agenda. We have May 11th and May 20th, 28th, and June 1st. Is that because?
Oh, really? Not even on the agenda?
No.
Good luck. All right, so the 19th, all right, so.
The 19th we'll have to come back to.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have a couple more we're gonna have to come back to, and we have all of
That's fine.
July's.
But you're okay with the 11th? May 11th? When we
Yeah,
just talked-
yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead, if you want to make the motion, approve that.
What about the 20th? May
The
20th?
20th, yes, I marked that down as a yes, I was happy with that.
Okay. May 28th?
What was the next one?
May 28th.
May 20th, executive session?
No, I'm sorry, May 28th.
Oh, 28th?
2/8, yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that was good at the beginning at that. I think you wanted to review it. I think you were unsure at the time.
Yep. But you're okay? No issues?
Yep.
Okay. And then the last one is June 1st. I had no issues there.
No, June 1st, I think I was just looking for the names to be added into the minutes for the family that we recognized for the fire response.
Mhm.
And Chelsea did that. I do want to ask Chelsea if she remembers, because I did have a question, but I don't know if I brought it to her attention. In regards to the public comment, Steve Lynch, do you remember using support of advancing the petition for the 5-member select board?
I actually rewatched that one because you did ask about it, and yes.
Yeah, you did support it? Okay, all right. Yeah, so the June 1st one, I'm good with.
Okay. All right, good. So,
I assume I abstain on this because I wasn't even here, right?
Yeah, you
I mean,
don't-
you can if you want to read them and.
I haven't read them, so I'm not gonna, I'm
Okay.
abstaining from all.
All right. I think you should go rewatch all the videos. And
I mean, I have watched those meetings probably, I just don't know.
you got to review the notes and then make. No, I'm messing with you. I'm
I
kidding.
know you are.
All right. I move that the board vote to approve the open session meeting minutes of May 11th, May 20th, May 28th, and June 1st, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board?
None.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstain.
2 in favor, 1 abstaining, the motion passes. Okay.
What, just before you jump off there.
Yep.
Just gotta go back to the agenda that you're going through. 511, 520, 528, 61. Oh, so we won't even do an executive session. So 520.
No, we just voted to approve the open session meeting minutes. We didn't have, you know what, I guess the agenda says meeting minutes. It doesn't differentiate between open session and.
So 19, we still got to visit.
Yeah.
In regards to that. And the 20th, we approved, I think there was an executive session for the 20th as well. And Chelsea,
Yep.
you haven't gotten the attorney's names?
Nope, that was another thing I was going to work on. I just got to find the right person who has the names, because I don't remember them.
You talked to Bob?
I did reach out to him. He's busy. I probably should just follow up with him. Somebody's got it now.
I don't understand why it's taking, it's 2 attorneys from the insurance company. I don't know why it's,
Do you?
If Bob doesn't get you an answer,
I'll-
just let
I'll
me know.
find out.
Or
I'll get
Peter
it.
can help out.
Worst comes to worst, I was going to reach out to Todd and see if he could send me the transcripts from that executive session, because it was on Zoom.
Yeah, but Bob will have it, and Peter can help
I'll get 'em.
help make sure we get that. Okay. It is 9:01 p.m. Got a lot done. Okay.
good.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting of the Select Board on Monday, July 27th. The time is 9:01 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion from the board?
want to wish you guys a very nice night.
You too.
Thank you everybody for hanging in there. Okay, roll call vote.
Eric Kelly, aye.
Rick Smith, aye.
Chris Rowland, aye.
Have a good evening, everybody.